which, according to all reports, is 456 pages long. So when was the last time either of you guys read anything 456 pages long? A legal document with all the fine print and what the formulas to figure out what the payment is here. Do they send it to a lawyer friend of theirs, say, read it and just, and
tell me how to vote? I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they've got a week to figure this out.
Another Rich Eisen show is coming at you right now.
Brady in the end zone.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Fires, pass batted up in the air, intercepted, and returned for a touchdown, Titans!
Live.
If I'm Tom Brady
In Los Angeles.
and I'm got 2 years to go and I want to win a championship, San Francisco is the spot to force your way to. He's got 2 years to go, right? Why shouldn't he be a bull in a china shop?
The Rich Eisen Show. Today's guests, former Raiders CEO Amy Trask, Pro Football Hall of Famer Michael Irvin, plus from the new film VHYes, actors Tim Robbins and Henry Robbins. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to this edition of the Rich Eisen Show. We're live on this radio network and also YouTube.com/Rich Eisen Show, where we just saw our social media grandmaster, TJ Jefferson, on our Callaway corner, pointing out all of our great guests that are going to be joining us on the show over the next 3 hours to take you into your sports weekend. Good to see you over there, Chris Brockman.
Rich, what's happening, buddy?
Hey, Rich. You look good, man, for a man with an infant baby at home. Are you faking it? Are you faking it?
Am I
right
faking
now?
it? Well, I got some highly sugared green tea this morning, so
Okay.
I'm like you, Rich. I'm no sleep and over caffeinated.
It's a very good. No sleep and over caffeinated.
Let's do this Friday,
That was
baby.
a great team.
Del Tufo will carry you throughout the
Yes,
day.
I'll take him.
Okay, so
God help us.
we're also live on our Instagram feed at Rich Eisen Show. That's our Twitter feed as well, and that is also our Facebook feed. And again, YouTube.com/Rich Eisen Show is how you can join us and watch us every single day. I'm excited for later on in the third hour. Tim Robbins will be here, and his son Henry Robbins, who has made this really wild. How do I put it? It's very funny, but it's also it seems like a drug-induced fever dream of a film of a young boy.
Let's start the weekend right.
Who hooks his new VHS camera up? It's in the mid to late '80s. Hooks his VHS camera up to his television set and is flipping around TV. And there's all sorts of spoofs of '80s television mixed in with some other. It's a fun, hilarious ride.
All right.
And Tim Robbins is one of the many actors and actresses who appear in it briefly, and he'll be here. And we've had Kevin Costner here, and we've had Ron Shelton here. We've never had Tim Robbins here, so we may or may not, with the two of them here, go down a little bit of a Bull Durham wormhole. We may or may not.
I mean, two of my favorite movies, Bull Durham and Shawshank.
That's your Shawshank Redemption.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are missing one of the best. The Player.
The Player.
That's my favorite.
I know. Bob Roberts is a great political send-up film. That's later on in hour 3. Michael Irvin, the birthday boy, in his first full day of being a 54-year-old man, will be joining us on this program to talk about the one rumor that pops up in this Tom Brady, where's he going conversation every now and then. I mean, the Niners have been all over the place. The Titans have been all over the place because of that famed FaceTime in Syracuse, New York, a couple of days, last week, where Vrabel's showing up on Edelman's phone as they're talking to Tom Brady. And it might, by the way, be as simple as Vrabel loves Jimmy Fallon. Let's FaceTime with Jimmy Fallon, and we're all zooming in thinking that Brady's using his minutes, not trying to figure out what Jim Boeheim's substitution rotation and why it's happening the way it is against North Carolina.
But do we know that it was Brady's phone? It could have been Edelman's phone.
It could have been Jimmy Fallon's phone. Let's call him up.
And then Fallon's like, hey, look who I have on FaceTime.
Could be. By the way, great Jimmy Fallon invitation.
Brady doesn't have a cell phone anymore. You guys don't know.
Again, we're not thinking. Admittedly, with the Brady stuff, we are not thinking straight. We're just not thinking straight.
No.
Because we see Vrabel on Edelman's holding a FaceTime of Vrabel, and Brady's there, and we're all thinking, oh, he's going to the Titans. Like, that's what Brady's going to do. I'm going to fly to central New York, go to this basketball game, and with 80,000 people around.
There's a lot of people.
I'm probably not 80,000. But
30.
The Carrier Dome has got a lot of people in there,
Yes.
right? It's not even called the Carrier Dome anymore, is it? Did I go way
No,
off
I
the
think
reservation
it is
there?
still the Carrier Dome.
But if you ever FaceTime anybody
In a public place?
in a restaurant, you can't hear them.
Right.
So Brady's going to have high-level talks with the Titans when it's technically tampering.
Not high register, high level.
High-level conversations about his future because he's FaceTiming at a game.
With the head coach.
We're not thinking
and his
straight.
former teammate.
But I'm going to point blank ask Irvin, why do I keep hearing the Dallas Cowboys being brought up in this regard?
Dude.
Why is that like every now and then you're hearing that? Didn't Curran even bring it up briefly yesterday when he was on that program?
Just real quick.
Yeah, Cowboys might be one of the 8 teams. Why?
Because they have a quarterback situation.
They have no quarterback situation. They have a quarterback.
Well, they have a quarterback situation not with pen to paper, with his name.
They will franchise him in the next few days if they can't get something done. They will franchise tag the man. They're not just going to let him walk when the new league year opens up.
True.
In less than 2 weeks. He will be franchised. And if he's franchised, they have until mid-July to come up with a long-term agreement. They once did that with Dez. Remember that? They went to the wire with Dez and Demaryius Thomas both signed for pretty much the same contract on the same last minute of the day where you can turn a franchise tag into a long-term contract. I don't understand it. And then Amari Cooper said he wants to be a Cowboy for life. By the way,
not a bad place to.
By the way, after watching
your whole career.
By the way, after watching all of the receivers working out at the combine, if I'm Amari Cooper, I'm running to a contract right now.
As soon as they offer you one, with big time guaranteed money, sign.
$17, $18 million a year, or are you going to sign one of these kids? Although Cooper is still very young. So we'll talk about that. And then Amy Trask will join us on the program. I love chatting with her, one of the most brilliant people on the planet, and a good friend, and somebody who I want to say, look, what is going on with this collective bargaining agreement is Ryan Fitzpatrick was the latest to take to Twitter to give his 2 cents on the matter. And he said he's all in on the CBA to vote yes. Take his video and contrast it with Pouncey's video. They are 2 completely different videos. One, which is a profane, shirtless, behind-the-wheel selfie.
Yes.
Barking about how terrible the collective bargaining agreement is and vote no. And then the vote yes from Fitzpatrick. You all have to seek it out. There he is, sitting down, looking down at his phone in what may be a position where he's on a throne. Potentially.
Like the throne?
You tell me. Take a look at that video.
Oh, man, hold on. I didn't think that when I first saw the video.
He's sitting down. There just seems to be just like a framed photograph on the wall behind him. Or a framed picture on the wall.
All right, hold on.
And a door that's just to the right. Like,
okay.
Tell me where you think that might be. It could be anywhere in the house.
It could be anywhere.
But it does look like,
the way that he's sitting, it's close.
Some people do their best work in there, Rich.
Also, great point, Mike. Very good point.
Yep. That's why all the YouTube fans love chatting with you on our chat.
Exactly, Rich.
For comments like that. But that's literally what I thought, where I'm looking at him and my first thought is he shooting this thing on the throne? And then I heard what he had to say and that how he has been talking about the details of this with so many different people and different lawyers and the Players Association, and he's a yes. By Thursday, we're going to find out. And, if players are upset about what Romo's making and what they're not making, then the Players Association better get this thing done quick because Peyton Manning's going to make Tony Romo the second highest paid broadcaster potentially in short order if that rumor goes through. Okay? And I'm sure if this does go through, Al Michaels may make Romo the third highest paid broadcaster.
Al Michaels is going to own Disney at this point.
Yeah.
Air Al.
He's gonna have
Air
his own
Al, man.
He's part of the park.
That's
like,
right.
Star Wars land. It's gonna be Michael's land.
Uncle Al's Wild Ride.
Right. Have his own theme ride.
Right? So that's what's going on. Hey, Steph Curry came back last night.
Hey, I watched that.
I did
was
too.
A fun game.
I did too. Steph Curry came back last night, and all I could think of is I'm watching him make his mark, and the Warriors play a game where it was really tight, man.
Yeah.
Okay? A highly competitive game between the Raptors and the Warriors. And Curry last night, 23-7-7. And also three MVP chants in 27 minutes, right? Is that what it was? So he got it done last night, although they didn't win. And all I kept thinking was Brian Windhorst's idea that he proposed on this show yesterday.
Now, he said he's taken to the league.
I don't watch every episode of The Jump because I think we're on the air at the same time, right?
They go on right as
after.
we go off.
Right.
Yes.
So I don't know if he's mentioned this on the air, but folks, if you didn't hear it, he's saying that you take the top 8 seeds in every conference. The first 7 make the playoffs. That's it.
Breezed. In.
Right. The seeds 8 would yield by the end. The Nets get cut down, and they're like, "Congratulations, you make the playoffs as the 8 seed."
You get to play the Lakers.
You've now just gone through this 5. But I would think it would be something we would all see, and it would shorten the regular season by a week plus. So all of the top 7 teams get a bye, if you will. They have a week off going into the playoffs. And then teams 8 through, what would that be, 15,
right,
would be all thrown in a hopper. And whoever emerges gets the 8 seed. And that would make games like Curry returning last night pretty damn significant, where they're like, okay, Warriors fans, you just sat through. Hold on a minute, let me get this right. 14. You just sat through a stretch of 14 and 48.
Yikes!
But that 49th loss just gave you a little glimmer of hope.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't you want to watch Steph Curry go through his first tournament since Davidson, when we all fell in love with him?
And go full Davidson?
Go full Davidson?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to see that?
Absolutely. Because like we said yesterday, we're wondering, there's 20 games left. Why would he bother coming back?
Right.
But if there's this tournament, suddenly
work your way into game
shape. Get your way into game shape. And a guy like Curry, just like the NCAAs,
right,
can get hot for a week and carry you into now the postseason.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It'd be amazing. You'd have to shorten the regular season, probably get it down to 75
That's
games.
what he said.
Right.
That's what he said, that the NBA is looking to get fewer games.
But add a little wrinkle.
Right, add a wrinkle and not lose revenue or interest. And by, taking the regular season number of games down to 74, that whole back-to-backs load management issue goes away. That's what I was thinking of last night watching Curry doing this. I'm like, this dovetails into what Windhorst said on our show. Why not?
Why not?
So, you know what I'm saying? That's the way I took that last night.
Couldn't have been more in. And watching Curry last night just like exponentially my enthusiasm for this.
And like, what if Trae Young goes on a run, right?
Or Zion. Any of these young guys.
Well, I mean, I do want to include the Eastern Conference in it a little bit here. I mean, maybe R.J. Barrett goes on such a run that Spike Lee decides to come back.
Comes back.
Or Kevin insists the Knicks get a bye into the next round and tries to stiff arm his way through. All right, I'm not going to go down the wormhole.
Please don't.
844-204-RICH is the number to dial here on the show. We're live on youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, and our poll question will be up shortly. When we come back, we'll hit that poll question. I have a figure in it's not a sports figure. There's a number in my life that I'm going to address on the air, and I need your help.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, I think. But maybe much of our audience does not. I'm really going to share something very personal. And it's got a single digit, a dot, and 2 digits after, and it's not my 40 time. By the way, I wish this was my 40 time.
Dude, if this was your 40 time,
yeah.
Okay.
you'd be going in the first or second round.
It's very personal what I'm going, and it's difficult for me to share.
I might not make
And
the
there have been
combine.
times where you're like, we've got to talk about this on the air.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't want to because it's personal and it's something I don't want to mention on the air.
And here's the thing. It is personal. However, we all have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all have one.
We all have one, but it's very personal.
And it's viewed as a window into your personality, and
Yes.
you call in and give me advice. And we have the real estate to do it. So we're going to do it. Oh, my gosh. Have I set it up? Is that enough of a tease?
I think that's a pretty good tease.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our poll question, your phone call is 844-204-RICH. I'm going to share a very personal figure in my life. That's next on The Rich Eisen Show with Michael Irvin, Amy Trask, Tim Robbins, and Henry Robbins in studio, hour number 3. That's how we're running on this very fun Friday. Hey, folks, the Honda Passport is sitting at your local Honda dealer ready for you to test drive and have a great time. It is built for comfort. In this Honda Passport, you can get seating for up to 8. Up to 8 in the Honda Passport. Easy access to the third row thanks to the one-touch second row seats. Capable on almost any terrain. Available all-wheel drive. Even comes with underfloor storage. So you can stow away the tools needed for springtime trips. A lot of folks are just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to hop in the car with the kids, hop in the car and have a vacation somewhere nearby.
Go see some spring training.
Go see some spring training.
Boom.
Nice.
Yeah, certainly if
for
you're in
that.
the Grapefruit League or the Cactus League, everybody. Cactus League. You can go searching for Chris Sale and his ligaments.
Stop.
Sorry.
He's hanging out
Hey,
with
Aaron Judge, everybody's hurt.
He's
I know,
hanging
they're
out with
hurt.
Judge and Severino's.
Come on.
Please.
We're all in the same world of poop. Oh, but that does not involve the Honda Passport. Please go to your local Honda dealer and test drive one today. Christopher,
Yeah, buddy.
I have something for you.
For me.
I do.
Uh-oh. What do we got?
What do we got?
This is from me and Suze.
Oh.
All right? This is a very, very special gift, if you don't mind me saying. For you and Sarah and Cage.
Oh, thank you.
Okay? I grew up. You ever heard of the author Richard Scarry?
Yes.
Okay. I grew up with all those books.
Of course.
This book, it's beaten up. We're giving you the book that all 3 of my children have enjoyed. It's called A Day at the Airport.
Yeah.
Or what my kids used to call A Day at the Hairport.
Why not?
And it is filled with all sorts of fun stuff.
All right.
There may be some stains of some sort, but here you go.
Love it. Okay.
Oh, he's walking over.
Exciting. Thanks, buddy.
Enjoy.
Appreciate it.
Read it. It'll be a while for Cage to understand it, but there's a lot of good stuff to read there and look at.
Oh, wow. This is awesome. Thank you.
It's okay. Don't worry about it, Don. We're good.
Exciting.
Yeah, man. What do you think?
I love it. I can't wait.
What'd
We've
you
watched a lot of basketball in the last week, so especially with my mom coming this weekend.
Now, with your mom
We'll
coming,
do some reading.
Are you putting the onesie away with the middle finger that's got right there in the front to the Astros
Did you
that
see-
Sarah Instagrammed out?
So we got sent that. She is a writer on Lights Out, David Spade show on Comedy Central, and the old former head writer there sent us these things. By the way, in 3 different sizes, the same shirt. So,
Well, you gotta-
So as he grows,
he goes in them.
he can still,
Yeah.
give the bird to the Astros.
It's going to be
Now,
happening a lot
what
this
does it
season.
say on it again?
It's have trouble stealing this sign. or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that's great.
Have
My
fun
baby
trying to
had
steal
that
this
tattooed
sign.
on his
or
head.
something.
Yankee Stadium. If I had a baby, tattooed.
Pretty funny. Pretty funny.
So how are we doing with our chat box today? We're good?
Oh, the
good.
chat is on fire already.
It is. Oh,
Everyone is excited.
Okay.
They love TJ, too.
It's
just
all
so you
going
know.
down in the chat.
TJ, he is their knight in shining armor with the bots.
By the way, a lot of vitamins
Can't say-
on Friday morning here for some of the chat members.
All right, let me I forgot to tweet out from my account.
My man Scrap Iron raised his hand big on the
With
vitamins.
the vitamins.
All right.
Vitamins, Brockman.
What are the vitamins again? I forget.
Okay. Hit the YouTube page now, right?
I'm just egging him on now.
I mean, Brockman's.
It's great. The chat is where it goes down.
We love the chat room.
Are you paying attention to what we're supposed to be doing?
Well,
Yeah,
we're in a
I mean,
plus
we're in a
block
plus
right
box.
now, so
Yeah, it's
you
fine.
I
know.
know that, but I mean,
yeah.
This is like we're on the on deck circle. We're all
we
out.
could play Steph Curry sound or whatever.
We're coming.
Well,
in
we're
with that.
good. We're gonna come back and
Yeah.
talk some hoops. I also have a good poll question today.
Okay.
Pop culture related.
All right. Don is exhorting us to do the right thing here. A plus block. That's our phrase.
Oh,
That's what we
sorry.
would call it in the 5+ years we were on
Oh,
audience.
so what are we gonna call these ones?
I don't know. They're just still.
Shot
we
block.
would call them Eisen extras. They're live look-ins.
We should
but
incorporate
it's-
the chat room
Yeah.
into these.
Yes.
Do it.
Well, I'm just
Have
trying.
somebody-
We're gonna workshop a name.
Okay.
Actually, I'll leave it. We can put it on the chat
Yeah,
right now. Okay.
let's see what they say.
Hey, chat room.
Oh God.
Hey, chat room.
Oh God.
What should we call these TV radio
Okay.
breaks?
All right. We got a minute to radio. everybody.
Yep.
A minute to radio.
All right.
All right. Waiting on the poll question.
Eisen
Eisen extras.
extra- yeah.
Somebody's saying Eisen extras.
But didn't we try?
We
I
used
thought
that.
we did.
We called it the Eisen Extra. I thought on TV.
People. We are going to bring Larry David back on the show, by the way. Somebody's saying to do that.
But, oh, this guy, Alberto Munoz, calm down over there. I can't even read what he's saying.
Everybody loves you. Oh, from Hoskins, Mike Hoskins, the recess.
Oof.
Hoskins,
Recess.
well done. Well done. I like it, the
By the way,
recess.
Hoskins pandering to the host.
Excuse me, if doing your job is pandering to the host, then you need to pander a little bit more, Chris.
I've been pandering since 2011.
He's been banned.
By the way, that should be, that's like on your McDonald's sign.
Yeah.
Pandering since 2011. In 10th year of pandering.
Got pocket. Oh, we got the three! How about that?
See, we can't call this desperation shots from him because he can make them.
Picked up by Wiggins. Curry, three. Card! He cans it, and he's fouled.
Welcome back, Mr. Curry. Welcome back.
All right, it's Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller on the call of Steph Curry returning after a 58-game absence and coming up with 23, 7, and 7. Coming back from a broken hand, too, man.
He
for
looked
a team-
good last night.
Dude, for a 14-48 team, I love it. LeBron tweeted out that the game missed him. You know what? The game missed him, man.
100%. He took a fall early, like on a fast break.
Right.
And everyone just kind of went, oh, no.
Right,
Because he kind of fell on his own, the same way he got hurt in the first place.
right. That's the Best Life Player of the Week, brought to you by our friends at Capital One, which is reimagined banking by offering savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums. One of the nation's best savings rates. Capital One, what's in your wallet? You know what I loved about that that Harlan and Reggie Miller? It sounds like Jeff Walker was doing the audio for the game. I mean,
Yep, sounded great.
You heard the ball go
Yep, bounce. I heard
through the
bounces.
net. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what we do.
you heard the iron. You heard it all. I mean,
it was amazing.
You heard the excitement and the
Unbelievable.
call.
It was amazing. It was
Well done, right?
beyond
Wouldn't
amazing.
you think that the
Yes,
audio
he
for
did.
that
It
was really as
It
amazing?
was great. I would actually have said the guy actually did his job really well. I mean, I would have.
Is that what you would say,
Yeah,
or?
I would know. I love. I mean, come on. We're friends now.
All right, I'm going to share, people.
Uh-oh.
What do you got, buddy?
You know what I have.
Well, I know it's not good.
Yeah.
This is a personal thing for me, and I'm upset about it, and I don't know what to do about it. But here's what I'm going to share with you. We all have this number. It's a number that many people view as a window into your soul, what type of person you are, how you deal with interpersonal relationships. It's called your Uber rating. If this was only my 40-yard dash time, but I have no earthly idea. You know, I treat people very well. I do unto others. I've learned that from my parents. I do that all the time. But
I've been in the car with you.
You have been in the car with me, right?
Many times.
Okay. And Don Bowie wants a screen grab of it, my coordinating producer, and I shall send it to you. My Uber rating is 4.54.
What? How is that possible?
It's gotten even lower since I spoke to you about it.
Since Miami?
We'll talk.
Wait, since Miami, it's gone down?
I don't know, man. I don't understand. Somebody gave me like
4.5?
4.54 and out of 5.
Like, you might as well walk at this point with a 4.54.
Yeah, they're not even
You
picking
might
up.
as well get a bicycle and cruise around town.
I'm
Decline rider.
I am despondent over it. I don't know. I never got into an argument with anybody. I didn't have any Curb Your Enthusiasm moments whatsoever. I get in and I essentially say hello to everybody.
You ride up front?
Do I ride up front?
I do all the time.
What are you talking
You
about?
get in the front seat?
Dude, that's weird.
No, it's not. They ask me all the time.
What do you mean
wanna ride
they
front?
ask you?
The driver.
I've never been asked to ride up front
I drive.
in an
I ride
Uber.
up front with Ubers all the time. They come on up front. Yep.
Dude,
It's bonding. Driver.
what is your
rider,
Uber rating?
492.
That is ridiculous. That this
0.4
guy
higher
is a
and he sits up
492.
front.
I mean,
I'm a 4.86.
he's close.
But
That's a point down.
it doesn't get any higher. And I've been told, hey, I give you 5, you give me 5 stars. That's what I've
I
been
think
told
that's
to do.
just understood.
And,
understood.
and I
It's
say this
understood.
to people, and they're like, do you slam doors? What do you do? And I'm like, I'm not a door slammer at all. I walk around treating people the way I want to be treated. That's the way that I, along with my wife, that's the way Susie and I are telling our children to live. So that's the way I treat everybody. And you never know who, might know who me. So I want to give off the best impression possible, which is to be myself. And I never shut conversation down. I do talk on the phone, not loudly, but I do. Help me out here. It never goes up.
By the way,
It never goes up.
text from Susie, because she's out there listening.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to hear Rich blank all over my rating anymore.
Me? We're separate ratings. I mean, she's
I
got
was
her
going to
own
ask
Uber
if you
rating.
shared an account.
No.
Look at
4.54
that.
Rich
Look at
Eisen.
that.
I don't have an avatar or anything. I'm a mess.
Bro, what do you do?
I do nothing except get in and say hello. Now there's
Now
the
do-
athlete. That's it. I don't
Do
need gum.
you-
I don't like leave the wrappers. I don't like take whatever. Some people have like literally a confectionery in their Ubers, or like in Nashville, Mike. When we were at the draft,
Yes.
we had somebody had like a disco ball in
that
there.
you bought off the guy.
By the way,
There you go.
and by the way,
There
and
you
by
go.
the way, the reason why he found out about the ball and how he could buy it is because he was sitting up front.
Exactly. True story. I always look at that.
Del Tufo sends his 492.
So if we go the opposite of the combine,
Unsolicited.
I'm
You
like
sent it to Don too? Are
Yeah.
you flexing?
Oh, wow.
What did you even ask for?
Big
Yeah,
fun. Yeah,
was-
didn't ask. By the way, somebody named Ray Liotta wants to know from the chat, do you fart as you leave?
Excuse me.
Oh,
Do you pass gas in the
Excuse
Uber?
me. I'm assuming that's not Mr. Chantix right
I
there.
can't think it's the real Ray Liotta.
Who would ask me such a question? Come on.
We're just wondering.
Please. Please.
Let
Have a
me
little
ask you
respect.
this. Let me
Have a
ask
little
you this.
respect.
Do you make maybe unreasonable requests? Like, do you complain about the radio station or the number of black ice air fresheners or the lack of candy, gum, or water in the car? Like, what is your interaction with the driver that you are at a 4.54?
I get into the car. I say, how are you today? I buckle up.
Okay.
I
okay,
then go
okay.
about my business a lot because I'm on the phone. I'm spinning plates over here, man. And so I even say, I'm sorry if I'm talking too much. And then they basically say, no, the day's fine. There's got to be many Uber drivers out there right now. 844-204-RICH or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. Honestly, my hygiene is good. My karma is good. My attitude is good.
By the way, great question from Richard Dowling. Do you enter through the staff door, the VIP door, or the public door?
Well
fantastic.
done. Good Spike Lee reference right there. And I tell this to people and they find it funny. I don't find it funny at all. Somebody must have zeroed me out. Somebody suggested to me.
You had to have gotten a 1 at some point.
They won.
Or a 0.
Full blue Tarski. Right?
Was there ever a situation where you maybe had a few too many glasses of wine and maybe you insulted their sports team that they like, or a little reversal of fortune in the back seat? Like, I'm just trying to think, like, what would have caused you to get a 0?
Now, TJ Jefferson is sending, our social media Grand Maester sent unsolicited to Don Bowie. 488 is his rating.
Yeah, I just sent mine to Don, too.
I don't know. I honestly don't have any answers here. Honestly, somebody zeroed me out and just said, and I can't get that off of my, somebody actually said the 3 dreaded words to me as a suggestion how to get out of this problem. Delete your account.
And start over.
Start over. Start from scratch. And I'm like, really?
Who suggested that?
That means I've got to start again. I got to put my name.
It's like filing for bankruptcy.
It's like,
You're starting over. Chapter 7, we're starting over.
Filing or chapter 454.
Chapter 4.
You see, but you understand how tough it is for me to share this right now?
I mean, this is bad.
Well, it's
I'm
tough.
like,
It's
and
tough.
I never ever sweat on the air, like literally never. And it might be because I'm wearing a very, thick sweater and I'm drinking coffee, but I'm just.
You're flop sweating?
I'm not flop sweating. I'm.
By the way, this is great.
I don't want to talk about this.
Elliot
much.
Eisler, you got a 0 because somebody thought you were a coward.
That's fantastic, too.
Oh, man. Joe in Lansing, Michigan. All right, they're calling in now. What's up, Joe? You pop him up there, Mike. What's up, Joe? You got some advice for me here?
Yeah. So I'm a Uber and Lyft driver.
Okay.
And I would say that it might not necessarily have been anything that you did to cause the rating. Sometimes when we have another ride that pops up and we go to accept it, we accidentally can give a lower rating to a rider. So that could have happened. The only other thing I could say was maybe possibly it was a Buckeye fan that was driving me.
Oh, good one. Good one.
And
Good
lastly,
one.
I would just say, for me as a driver, I always appreciate if someone's not on the phone, if they do engage in conversation, so that way there's not the awkward silence.
Is that how Del Tufo? Awkward silence. I mean, so that's why Mike is you chat Mike. You chat
saw
up anybody.
The sitting up front is not weird whatsoever. People sit up front in my car all the time. I appreciate that. It gives us more of a one-on-one connection, and I as a driver, I personally like that.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe.
I'm gonna start doing that.
You saw when I was in Miami, when I went up front when we came back from that event, I went right up front, and you guys were making fun of me. I'm telling you.
But, Mike, when there's 4 people catching the same Uber, somebody has to sit up front.
It's not like, hey, let me hop in your car and sit up front with you, stranger.
You've heard me when I go, I'll ride up front. I bomb with the driver.
What about the fact that, and again, maybe the fact is I need a ride, right? I want a ride. I order the ride. I get in the car. I ride. I get out of the car. My credit card works. I say thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Have a good day. I leave no garbage, no detritus, no footprint. Carbon or anything else.
That's a big word.
Yeah, nothing.
What about
so isn't that the extent of the transaction?
Is there a tip situation ever?
Of course.
Okay.
Now, do you do hold on.
That's a recent thing that you can do.
You do the automatic like 5, 10, 20. I do custom amount every time.
486 is Brockman's. What in the hell is going on around here? And I have just been told that Sean Mitchell of the Rich Eisen Show crew has a perfect 5-0.
He's been in 2 Ubers.
I was going to say, what have you taken 3 rides in your life?
This is what I've been told.
We don't believe it.
A perfect 5-0.
Can you look on here and see how many rides you've taken?
He does. He could have changed that. I don't believe it.
That is crazy. A perfect 5.0.
How many rides have you taken?
How is that possible?
No, it's ride.
Blemished Uber rating.
But you got to look at how many rides you've taken, too.
Well, bring them out.
Yeah.
Where do you do that?
I got to look.
Evan in Columbus, Ohio. Let's get him on here. Evan, is it possible that everybody knows I'm a Michigan fan? I asked someone from Columbus, and then I get dinged for my rating on Uber just for that alone?
Well, I mean, it depends upon the territory, Rich, but that's always an option. And we travel well, so it could be any part of the country.
Is this Albert Breer, the Uber driver, all of a sudden? My gosh.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. You know what? I wanted to call because
Yes.
I think it's more appropriate if you're taking an Uber by yourself to ride up front. I think if you naturally go to the back, it's elitist. You know, it's not driving Miss Daisy.
Really?
I've never sat in the front seat so well.
And you're 4'8".
486.
Are you serious, Evan? Like the next Uber I ride, I should just hop in the front and spend the 15, 20 minutes chit-chatting the entire time?
Yeah, it's like your buddy. It's like you're riding with your buddy and you're going to, get some fast food or something.
But what if I don't want to talk, though? You know what I mean? I talk all day, right?
Yeah, that's true. I see your point, but you know what? The company, the familial part of it, it's a good experience.
All right, thank you very much, Evan. I'm blown away that I should sit up front. I honestly don't understand it. 844-204-RICH, more of your phone calls. Is Sean Mitchell going to come out? I got to meet somebody who's got a 5 Uber rating.
Yeah, but we have to see how many trips.
Amy Trask, Michael Irvin. What do you think? What do you think Irv's Uber rating is?
Wow.
Probably, you know what it is for him? 488.
Right. But there's a lot of Cowboy haters out there.
I'm sure he's got his 88.
He's got the 88.
A lot of Cowboy haters out there,
KT,
though.
it's Kevin. You have a 5 rating too?
No, 488.
488 is Kevin Thompson's rating.
Wow.
I mean, Rich.
Damn it!
I was like Dion. I just ran in and ran right out.
Tim Robbins, Henry Robbins, Michael Irvin, Amy Trask, and you at 844-204-RICH, number to dial. When we come back, we'll talk about this more. Take your calls. I can't believe it. I'm despondent. That's next. Okay. I mean,
we're back.
Good question. How long do you make drivers wait before you get in? I'm just. This is what people are saying. So I'm just, throwing out questions.
I mean, I don't even know. What is he again?
Michael Irvin's Uber rating is 422. They're bad. These people are bad. But I like.
I'm getting pissed off. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right. Well,
I'm sharing people. Okay.
This is a safe space.
Do you know how many people make fun of me for this thing?
Well, you deserve it.
Why?
I mean, it's 4 or 5. It's unheard of. Unheard of.
Somebody has a 396.
Now hold on a second.
This is
you are the lowest.
It's the lowest I've ever heard.
Of anyone
it's
you
the
know.
lowest of anyone I've ever heard.
Happen?
I have no idea.
I've got to
hold on. Let me ask the chat.
Somebody has said you guys make fun of Del Tufo. Listen to the man.
Lower than 4.54.
I like it.
I like it. People are now saying. Yeah. Here's another one. By the way, somebody's like, gotta be the dude in Indy with no wipers. How's DJ's rating? You guys blasted him on the show earlier this week. Remember the guy who picked this up?
That
wasn't an Uber driver. He
489 feller. I mean,
here we
Cisco,
go. Ian McDougal, 5.0 with 20 trips.
Who?
Somebody in the chat. Ian McDougal.
20 plus trips.
20 plus trips.
Is nothing. That's a joke. I do 20 trips in a week.
Oh, stop it, Mike.
No, I mean you got to do hundreds.
Our call screener Adam Chugwin says he's 461, and he's the guy. He's the first. What, Liz? What is your rating?
4.9.
Under me though. I'm Smitch is. He's probably taken 5 trips. Smitch. There's no way. He's like the 20 trip guy.
Wait.
He's Ubering around right now.
He's not here.
He's not here. He's Ubering right now.
Adam in the back, Rich, is close. 461.
I know, he just said that. And by the way, he's the first voice you hear when calling into the show. We got a 461. He's the first you hear from. And then you go down when you talk to me.
Fantastic.
Damn it.
This is great.
This is so good.
And I think we have a very affable program. You call in, we say hello. We ask how you're doing.
Oh, man.
There's no ride preference of asking here.
Joel David in the chat is a driver, I guess. Won't pick up anyone below 4'7".
Oh my God! Now hold on a second. Excuse me. I don't have a problem getting a ride.
So you always get a ride?
Never a problem.
Okay.
And it's not like there's anyone up, but I do have to say, I do have a little concern when I walk in the car that I've got like
you're
this
prejudged.
I've got
you're
prejudged.
Did you put a picture in your Uber?
How about this one?
Instead of just the...
This is bad.
Oh, I have a picture. So the driver knows who he's picking up.
John Boynton.
What does that matter?
John Boynton knows a guy who's...
Hold on a second. Wait.
Hold on.
No. Wait. Save it.
Okay.
This is not Tinder, okay?
No, but I mean, they may be like...
They don't need to see a photograph of me before they get me. We're not trying to date. I love my wife and my life and my 3 kids. I just need a ride, okay? Not to go all Larry David here, but the whole concept is not to make friends. The concept...
I'm going to add a picture right now.
Isn't to meet people.
It's
not. It's not. The concept is, I need a lift. I need a ride. You have the wheels. I'm more than happy to spend time with you, but I don't need you to see my face beforehand. Like, oh, let's see who we're going to see right here. I mean, I don't exude that attitude.
But Rich, what if the face helps you?
Yeah. I mean,
to do what?
I don't know, Rich. All I know is we have high ratings and you don't. You might want to listen to our advice.
Yeah, put the face. I mean, for once, I'm actually...
So hold on. This guy, John Boynton, said he knows a dude who's thrown up in 2 different ones and is a 4'6'5".
That's not at all acceptable. No way. Somebody
thrown up twice and is a 4'6'5".
Rich, what did you do? Rich.
Here, now I will ask you this. Did you maybe call an Uber for a friend of yours?
And they did something bad?
And they did something.
Because I don't do that.
No, the only person I've called an Uber for in my life is my mom. That's it.
And she's
don't
amazing.
you dare.
No.
She is wonderful.
Are you kidding me?
Seriously.
She's the nicest people.
The last time that she came to the house, she got a lift from an Uber driver. I think they became best friends, literally, and and this driver gave her the card. They exchanged, information. My kids were flipping out, welcoming her to the house because this woman literally had like a movie theater worth of candy in the middle of the seats up front.
So I just got a text from somebody from Uber. Your account was a 4.5, and after your mom's ride, you went up to 4.54.
This is so good. This is amazing. This is amazing. I love this. Oh.
We haven't even gotten to the poll question yet because my Uber rating has taken over this program.
Well, this is great.
But let's get to the poll question anyway. Capital One has reimagined banking by offering savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums, one of the nation's best savings rates. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Approval required. Capital One NA member FDIC. Christopher, what is the poll question?
Okay, so we're going pop culture today, guys. On this date in 1987,
wow,
one of the best action movies, eventual movie franchises ever, Lethal Weapon came out.
Great movie.
Today. Lethal Weapon.
You know what also came out today in 1998 was The Big Lebowski.
Whoa.
Came out today, too.
Another great one.
I know.
We can do that, too.
That's all right.
What's the best action movie duo? Action movie duo. Here's what we got.
Okay.
Riggs and Murtaugh. Okay. Obviously, we
Yep.
Yeah.
Tango and Cash.
Tango and Cash, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going here. I'm going Carter and Lee from the Rush Hour movies.
Okay.
You better have my duo.
And the last one, no, come on, man. Fast and Furious. Dom Toretto
stop.
and Brian O'Connor.
Which is your duo?
48 Hours.
Oh.
I mean,
48 Hours is not really an action movie, is it?
Do we lose Tango and Cash and put Bad Boys?
Don't you dare touch
Bad
Tango
Boys.
and Cash.
I'll take Bad Boys.
Well, I mean, I would take out.
Take out Carter and Lee? Take out Rush Hour?
No. I think you should take out Tango and Cash.
All right.
Put Bad Boys in.
But speaking of 80s, the director of a movie called VHYes about a kid who grabs a video camera and begins to tape over his parents' wedding video by popping it into a new camera that he bought and plugging it into a television set and flipping the screen, flipping around a television dial. And then also unplugging and taking out his life. It's basically like a 70-minute long movie of watching an 8-year-old film stuff on a VHS tape, and so many great cameos in it. Thomas Lennon is hilarious. So is Tim Robbins. His son, Jack Henry Robbins, and the two of them will be together in hour 3 in studio together. Michael Irvin calling top of hour 3. Amy Trask in the middle of hour number 2. If you're just joining us, I shared a very personal number in my life. My Uber rating, a 4.54. What the hell is happening in my life? And the thing is, I have no idea what I did wrong, and I know some people on our YouTube chat, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, where you can watch us live every day now, is saying the problem is that I don't know what I did wrong. That's the issue. I didn't do anything wrong. I did nothing wrong. And to that evidence, Chris Brockman said somebody just posted on our YouTube chat, they know somebody whose Uber rating was a 1/10 of a point higher, 4.6 and change. And that individual had vomited in an Uber not once but twice, booting twice. I've never booted a thing. And as a matter of fact, I make sure I don't even leave footprints in there. I'm so
It's like when you go into a
appalled
sand trap
right now. I am appalled. All right, people are phoning in right now. Tim in Binghamton, New York. You're here on Rich Eisen Show. What's up, Timothy?
Hi, Rich. How you doing?
What's up, brother?
I'm an Uber driver.
Okay.
And I just wanted to call and let you know.
Yes.
It's probably really not anything you're doing. It's just that, you're a Michigan fan and you occasionally picked up by Ohio State grads.
That's what I heard again, man. It's now, look, hey, I don't know what else to say, but what do you do? Do you give somebody like a no star and just say, screw that guy and hit the button? That's what you do when somebody gets out of the car?
I give everyone 5 stars.
Okay.
Unless it's something completely awful. Like I had, 1 or 2 issues with people, and that's unavoidable.
All right.
But, I had someone dump I think she dumped a beer in my front seat, so I gave her a 3. I wasn't even that
Give her
mean.
3? Whoa. Oh my gosh. I need to go to Binghamton, New York and hit the button and ask for Tim. Thanks for the call, Tim. Sean in Oregon. What's up, Sean?
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
I really enjoy your show.
Thanks, brother.
I just want to say, with a person like myself who talks all day, sometimes when I get home, my wife wants to talk. I just have to be real and say, I need a little silence.
How does that one work? How's that one go over?
She hears me, and, we have conversations, but I think you get in the car and people know who you are, and they just think that they expect you to talk. And I also think, you're basing it just on a subjective rating. So it's like the stock market, it goes up and down with everyone's emotion.
No, mine does not go up. That's the problem.
No, yours only goes down.
It's plateaued.
Well, that's because you started high.
I don't know. Everyone starts with a 5, right? Isn't that the way it starts? And then you just go down, or unless you're Sean Mitchell, is perfect 5. All right, Sean. Thanks very much. I appreciate the call, man. All right, Wesley in Vegas has got a very bold claim. What's up, Wesley?
Hey, what's up? Good morning, Rich. Hey, look, man.
Yes.
5 point. I'm a 5-point writer.
Okay.
This is what, and it's not like I've actually done anything like to try to achieve a 5-point rating. It's just, I guess maybe it's just who I am. But here's the thing. Like, I usually go off of, just in terms of whether to talk or not, I usually go off of, like, the energy that the actual driver's giving. So if the driver's really talkative and kind of chatty and stuff, yeah, like, it's not going to hurt me to talk to him for 15, 20 minutes, like, ask him how his day's going, engage in whatever he wants to talk about. But if the driver's not really talking, they just have the music playing and stuff like that, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride. So I kind of feel like it may not be something that you're doing consciously. Maybe it's just maybe you had a driver that you didn't adapt to that well, like, maybe you talked a little bit too much and they didn't want to talk at all, or maybe vice versa. That could be it.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Wesley. I think here's my issue.
That dude got a beer poured in his front seat and still gave her a 3. Like, you had to have gotten a 1 at some point.
Here's my issue, I think, is to my core, honestly, deep down, in my heart of hearts, I don't think it's anything I did.
And as the one caller pointed out, I think that's the issue.
I don't think it's anything that I did. I didn't do a thing. I don't do a thing. Now, I do, again, make phone calls. That's what we do here in Los Angeles. We drive and do other stuff at the same time.
That's true. So maybe you got it out of town and you were on a phone call.
A little loud, maybe.
And they, aren't used to.
Dude, you're the
LA
loudest
business.
person I know.
Calls and Ubers.
And by the way, I need to do the Del Tufo thing, which is talk to everybody and anybody with a pulse until their ears bleed.
492. Look at the monitor.
I traveled. I forget where we traveled together recently.
No, when we were in Miami.
No.
Oh, you mean we traveled?
We literally got on a plane together and flew somewhere.
Yes.
I forget what our assignment
was. I was talking to the guy.
You do talk to everyone, Mike.
I do.
He talks
you
to
are the mayor.
everybody. Mike talked to the person who drove us to the airport. Mike talked to the person who was right there, and you didn't even check a bag. You talked to that person. You got through security. You talked to that person.
The TSA
you got
people
through,
love me.
You talked to everybody. Then you talked to me, and I didn't. I didn't want to hear it.
You have the Del Tufo filters. You get used to
that.
that.
You talked to me.
My mother has one too.
No. Then you talked to the flight
mic.
attendant. Then you talked to everybody. And it seems like the Uber drivers like it. Damn it. Carl in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's take your call. What's up, Carl?
Hey, how's it going, Rich?
Well, it could be better when I'm driving around town, I guess, or being driven. What's up, Carl?
Well, I think you're just getting picked up by the wrong driver. Sometimes with this rating system, the drivers don't take it seriously. Because I'm a driver, and I prefer somebody to just get in and just relax and just take you where you're going.
What if somebody hops in your front seat, just out of the blue?
No, they don't have to do that. They can ride in the back. You know, as long as you're not obnoxious and, possibly, putting your feet across the console and all that stuff.
Really? Some people literally put their feet up. By the way, don't get me started about putting feet up on a plane, okay? Now
that has happened. That has happened to me, and I still gave the person a 5. I mean, I don't. It was a group of girls. I just gave them a 5.
Okay.
I mean, I'm easy going. It's like, hey, I can't wait to get you where you're going because you're getting out of my car.
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it.
Wow.
I got like the big. I got like the famed East German and Russian judges from the 70s Olympics.
Oh yeah, they screwed you. Yeah.
I can't do anything
You would
about
make it into the semifinal round.
I think I do need to delete my account and start over.
Ooh.
I'll do that. I'll get a 5-0.
What's
You
in
can't go any
your
higher.
what's in your news update that's coming up at the top of the next hour before Amy Trask joins us to talk about what may be going on with this collective bargaining agreement and everything else in the NFL?
All right, we're going to hear from Amari Cooper and Steve Kerr after Steph Curry's return last night.
Yes, sir.
And a big contract extension in Major League Baseball.
Okay. And I'm telling you what, man, this Brady thing is under the radar for the moment. Next week at this time, it's going to be through the roof.
Yeah, buddy.
And wait till he just like posts from his vacation and whatever. There's going to be one Instagram photo
or story. He's a big story guy.
He's a big story about something.
Yeah.
A little wink and a nod to this whole will he or won't he thing.
See if Tom's
it's going to drive you crazy as a Patriot fan.
Ugh, I'm already
Michael Irvin and then the Robbinses, Tim and Jack Henry, here on this 4.54 edition of the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, we're back here. So on occasion, we're going to be just showing you stuff behind the scenes. Again, this is just our third streaming show on YouTube, right?
This is number three.
So on occasion, we're going to just take a stroll down memory lane as well. And here was Matthew McConaughey coming on this show. Wow, it's 4 years ago later this year. telling the story, the famed all right story. Check it out. You told a story after the cameras were off when we were in New York about the genesis of all right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Would you please tell that story that you ad-libbed that?
Here's where that comes from. So, Dazed and Confused.
Yes. Genius film.
I'm in the right bar at the right time. And a guy goes, hey, you ever done any acting? You might be just right for this part. Legendary casting director and producer Don Phillips. And I said, yeah, I was in the Miller Lite commercial for about this long, but, maybe I'm in film school at the time. And he goes, well, come to this address. You might be just right. Pick up the script. I go down, I pick up the script. There's 3 scenes with 3 lines. And one of the lines is Wooderson out front of the pool hall. The girls walk by. He checks her out going by. And his buddy said, man, you got to cut that out. You're going to go to jail for that, Wooderson. And Wooderson steps forward and says, no, man, that's what I love about those high school girls. I get older, but they stay the same age. Legendary line. I call it a launch pad line. Nice. Like you're going to say, unpack any character who says that and believes it, we can write a book on that guy, right? So that was one of the lines. So I go work on those 3 lines for 3 weeks. I come back, and they do what's called a makeup and wardrobe test, meaning they're shooting another scene one night. I'm just going to show up. Director's going to step off the set and come and look and go, great, I approve. Well, he comes and looks. He goes, geez, this is Wooderson. It's great. He goes, listen, you're not scheduled to work tonight, but we're over here at the Top Notch drive-thru, and you think Wooderson might want to pick up on the redheaded intellectual, Jack? And I'm like, sure. And he goes, want to shoot it? I'm like, sure. So I go get in the car, about to shoot my first scene ever in a film.
Of your career?
Of my career. And I had been listening to a lot of 70s rock and roll at that time. And there was a certain live recording of a Jim Morrison concert in like Amsterdam or somewhere where he barks at the crowd, all right, all right, all right, all right, 4 times, real aggressively though. I'm not thinking about that, but this comes back. So I'm in the car and I'm like, who's my man? I'm nervous. I'm about to hear act. Who's my man? Who's Wooderson? I said, well, I'm about my car. And I go, well, I'm in my 70 Chevelle. Yes. There's one. I said, I'm about getting high. I said, well, Slater's riding shotgun. You know he's got a DuBois rolled up. There's 2. And I said, and I'm about rock and roll. And I said, well, I got Nugent Stranglehold in the 8-track, man. There's 3. And I hear action. And I look up, and in my mind, I go, and I'm about chicks. I got 3 out of 4. Let's go get the 4th. All right, all right, all right. Pull out. That was it.
So
first words I ever said on screen. First words I ever said. And there was the 3 affirmations of those 3 things I had when they were.
I knew that would get us to the first hour, right?
What we're gonna do right here is go back into time.
Yesterday on the Rich Eisen Show.
And then the PDF of the collective bargaining agreement which, according to all reports, is 456 pages long. So when was the last time either of you guys read anything 456 pages long? I mean, a legal document with all the fine print and what the formulas to figure out what the payment is here. Do they send it to a lawyer friend of theirs, say, read it and just, and
tell me how to vote? I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they've got a week to figure this out.
Another Rich Eisen show is coming at you right now.
Brady in the end zone.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Fires, pass batted up in the air, intercepted, and returned for a touchdown, Titans!
Live.
If I'm Tom Brady
In Los Angeles.
and I'm got 2 years to go and I want to win a championship, San Francisco is the spot to force your way to. He's got 2 years to go, right? Why shouldn't he be a bull in a china shop?
The Rich Eisen Show. Still to come, former Raiders CEO Amy Trask, Pro Football Hall of Famer Michael Irvin, plus from the new film VHYes, actors Tim Robbins and Henry Robbins. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Hey, everybody. Hour number 2 of the Rich Eisen Show on the air. Amy Trask will be joining us shortly, now of CBS Sports, long-time front office executive of your Oakland Raiders.
She definitely has a 5.0, right?
For her Uber rating?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, for those just joining us,
no
I
doubt.
shared my Uber rating, which all of my friends make fun of me for. I have no idea why I have a 4.54. I wish it was my 40 time. I'll tell you that. It is not, and I don't know what the hell I did or what's going on. People have been calling it 844-204-RICH, number to dial with all sorts of suggestions. Amy's going to be joining us shortly because I just want to see what she thinks of this collective bargaining agreement and the conversations of many players. Latest, Ryan Fitzpatrick taking to Twitter and putting up a very thoughtful 2-minute video of why he's going to vote yes. Another question I want to ask her is what she thinks Gruden's thinking right now about his quarterback. She may not have any specific inside information straight from the Vegas Raiders right now, but she knows Gruden, what makes him tick, and if it just seems that he's never happy with his quarterback. Unless his name was Rich Gannon, right?
That's it.
Or I guess for one particular night, Brad Johnson.
For one night.
Well, that whole season, right? Michael Irvin will be joining us in hour number 3. He's a 54-year-old man. We'll say our happy birthday wishes to him. It was his birthday yesterday. And then the father-son combination, Tim and Henry Robbins will be here as Jack Henry's new film, VHYes, is out there for all of your consumption in theaters and on demand right now. And Tim is in it. And obviously, do you have your one Shawshank Redemption question that you'd want asked? I mean, that is your movie, pretty much.
I have seen that movie probably more than any other movie.
Okay, so that's your movie, right?
Love it.
Do you have anything you wonder about that film? I mean, you probably know the lines right off the top of your head. Like, you could read lines with Tim Robbins later on if you remember that, right?
I think so. And the other thing is like I've read the IMDb trivia on that movie so many times, so it's like I kind of know the ins and outs and everything about it. But I mean, I'm from Maine.
The ending was.
I mean, this town where I grew up is literally next to Buxton.
Okay.
Where the movie.
What
is
about
set,
any of it? What about the ending? Is there any question you have about the ending?
Let me think about it.
No, I mean, you've been thinking about it your whole life, is essentially what I'm saying.
Yes, but like my whole life, I didn't have Tim Robbins.
Going to be sitting across the way.
20 feet away.
That'll be later on here on this show. So, Chris Brockman's news update will kick off hour number 2, brought to you by our friends at Honda, and in specific, the Honda HR-V, stupendously stylish and available with all-wheel drive. The HR-V is ready to team up for your next adventure. So hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
And now, with a report of the day's news from the world of sports and entertainment, someone who is not a journalist or newsman by any definition of the word whatsoever, it's Chris Brockman.
Okay, Tom Brokaw here on the Rich Eisen Show. We're always so thrilled that he does this for us.
Always very nice.
What do you got over there, Christopher?
Let's start with the Tom Brady update, guys. It's Friday, March 6th, 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
There's no update. Nothing's happened in the Tom Brady news.
Okay,
today.
very good.
Nothing's happened. There's no latest on a phone call. We don't know where Tom's going on vacation, so there's absolutely nothing to report yet.
Okay, great.
On the Tom Brady front. On the Dallas Cowboys, though, however, Amari Cooper was on 105.3 The Fan. Of course, free agent wide receiver. He's had a great run in Dallas, and I think he wants to be there for quite some time.
Listen, I love being a Dallas Cowboy. I love everything about it. I was just thinking about that today. I think about it almost every day, really. Just primetime games. We play what seems like more night games than anybody, and that always feels good to a football player. Everything, the facility, I love it here in Frisco, where I stay at now. Just the aura of being a Dallas Cowboy. I mean, you can't beat it. So I want to be a Dallas Cowboy for life.
I'm sure he does.
Amari Cooper played 52 games for the Oakland Raiders, had 19 touchdowns. He's played 25 games with the Dallas Cowboys, 14 touchdowns.
Just, again, when the Cowboys flipped a 1 for Amari Cooper.
No, I remember that day.
We were all like, the Joneses don't know what they're doing. Why would they do that? They're totally clueless. And that was right around the time where Jerry said that he thought that this offense was as good as the Rams, could be as good as the Rams offense. That was the year where the Rams went to the Super Bowl, and we're all like, okay.
What is he talking about?
Now we got Zeke, you got Cooper, you got Dak.
Amari Cooper will be 26 when the season starts.
Exactly. He's really, really young. He's really, really young for a free agent wide receiver. The problem is wide receivers are the new running backs in the NFL. Not saying that you can't perform after the age of 30. Emmanuel Sanders was the one who got beyond the defense to try and win the Super Bowl in that play where we're talking about a lot with the Niners on Brady's wish list, apparently, that we're all sitting here talking about. Emmanuel Sanders is the guy who went deep. That said, all of those young kids I saw at the Combine, man, those wide receivers were amazing. And they're all going to be significant. I mean, look at this year, too. A.J. Brown, Tennessee.
Was a monster.
Okay. DK Metcalf, Seattle.
Debo.
That was the whole conversation that Daniel Jeremiah sparked, because he said out of all the players from last year in the NFL that the talent evaluation community was trying to find in this year's draft was this year's Deebo Samuel. So he came up with the graphic Finding Deebo. And because Deebo is physical and he's fast and he could be in the slot, he could be outside the numbers, he could be in the backfield, he can run it, he can catch and run after the catch, he can slash, he is dangerous. That's the problem for any free agent wide receiver right now. Good news for Cooper is Jerry Jones probably loves him. And the bad news is there is less pie. Once Dak finally does figure something out, or they figure out something with him, or they franchise him.
There is less pie.
Michael Irvin will be joining us top of hour number 3, as Dez Bryant appears to be back in the mix. That was one of the weirdest sound bites of the Combine weekend, is that Jerry wouldn't rule out a Dez return, that he thinks about it in the shower.
Sometimes we all do our best thinking in the shower.
Apparently.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing Dez come back, and I think all Cowboys fans too would welcome him back.
So Irv will be joining us top of the next hour.
Okay, there's a clip right now. We know how good Patrick Mahomes is, right?
Of course.
Is he the best player in the NFL right now?
If you had to build your team around anyone right now, wouldn't it be him?
I got to think so.
I mean, like any player in the NFL, you could build your team around any player in the NFL. I give you every single player in the NFL. It's like your first round selection of this fantasy draft to build your team around. It's Pat Mahomes.
I bet he would get more than 50% of the vote on that.
Well, who else would it be?
Maybe a defensive player, Aaron Donald, one of the Bosa brothers, maybe Lamar Jackson. He is going to be on an upcoming episode of The Shop on HBO.
Okay.
Here he is talking to Maverick Carter. This is crazy. Just listen to what he has to say, and it's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
I didn't understand how to read defenses until like halfway through last year. I understood coverages, but how to be able to pick up little tendencies defenses do, stuff that Brady and them have done, they know it and they just do it.
Second nature.
I was just playing. And
You
stuff
were
was just
ahead of the brain.
And then this year I could actually recognize more and more stuff. And I think the more experience and the more I learn, then I'll be able to go out there and call plays and do that different stuff, because I've seen it, and I still think there's a long way for me to go there. And that's where mentally I think I can get better. Physically, I feel like I've done a lot of stuff. I always work on the fundamentals and doing that stuff, but I think mentally I can still take my game to a whole nother level.
I believe it, and it's only shocking in the fact that because he was still young. I mean, you come out of the NFL, you come out of Texas Tech, you don't play until week 17 of your first year. Your second year, you throw 50 touchdowns just playing backyard,
just
street
winging
ball,
it,
right?
man.
Or front yard, backyard, street ball, however you want. He wins the MVP, essentially saying, that's what I did. I just, and kudos to Andy Reid and that staff to figure stuff out well enough for him to do it. Now, neck up is catching up with the rest of his body, and look out.
76 touchdowns, 9,000 yards in 2 years.
Look out. One of my favorite pieces of NFL films from the Super Bowl, if not the best piece, was about the play that turned the whole game around. The one to Tyreek Hill that led to eventually the first score and the comeback. Mahomes was the one who suggested the play.
Yeah.
And it was the same play, I guess, that they ran against New England in the previous season.
Yep.
And
but they flipped it.
They flipped it, right, on the opposite side of the field. Yep. He's the one who suggested the play. So now he's beginning to say, this is what we should do. This is what I like. He's not yet 25, by the way. By the way. He's not even 25 years old. And his head's screwed on right. Amazing. What a dream come true for the Chiefs.
He's a monster, man.
Right. Great soundbite.
He's a monster.
Right.
One other quick NFL note. Looks like the Redskins have finally granted Trent Williams permission to seek a trade. He sat out last year dealing with the, feuding with the medical staff,
with everybody,
and everything going on there in Washington. But they had blocked several reported trades with Cleveland and others. Looks like they're going to finally let him.
Well, Cleveland could sure use him.
Find a new place to play in 2020.
Good. I mean, use your draft and use the draft capital. Use the draft capital. What are they going to do with Tua? What if Tua comes out and lights it up at his pro day and his medical is clean as a whistle?
We don't know when that pro day is, right? He told us in Miami, end of March, early May, April.
Right. I mean,
no date yet.
I think they're. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't remember. But that's something that still lurks out there. I think they're going to go Chase Young and figure out, look, how the 49ers just made the Super Bowl.
That would make the most sense.
49ers made the Super Bowl with a quarterback that has a live arm and is able to do enough things with a great running game, Adrian Peterson and Darius Geis if he's healthy, and then get a whole bunch of first rounders from their draft years on the same defensive line and go hunt. And Ron Rivera being the new coach there. Jack Del Rio with Chase Young. Are you kidding me? Kerrigan, Chase Young, keep on right across that line right there. Giants better get Becton to protect Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
If you're facing that line, DeMarcus Lawrence and Fletcher Cox twice a year. I know Fletcher's right there in the middle of that defensive line, but I'm just throwing out some very talented pass rushers in that division.
Chase Young seems like the obvious no-brainer move, but of course, we're dealing with the Redskins here.
No, I think it's different now.
You think so? You think it really is? You think Ron's gotten in and the ship is moving in the right direction?
That owner's always a wild card in terms of what he demands or what he suggests. Remember last year when Joel Klatt came on our show and he suggested that Jay Gruden and the rest of that staff really wasn't into Dwayne Haskins? And then, sure enough, Gruden was gone. Just 2 weeks later, and he made a lot of news saying that on this show.
Yeah.
And I've subsequently heard, to add to that sentiment, that the quarterback they were interested in was Stidham, who the Patriots drafted. That's what I've since heard.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
All right, it was fun watching Steph Curry play last night.
Sure was.
Back on the Warriors, played 27 minutes. He was on a minutes restriction. He hit right in the middle of what he was slated for. 6 of 16, only 3 of 12 from 3, but that's fine. Had a nice night, 23, 7 and 7. And Steve Kerr liked what he saw as well.
There was just a different level of anticipation and excitement. It just, to me, it feels like, it's on again. We're now through the woods, as I said before the game. We can start looking ahead and using these games to prepare ourselves for trying to reach a higher level of play.
Okay,
It's
let's
on
roll.
again.
I know.
It's on.
Unfortunately,
I love
though, I mean, not for this year. So
No, not for this year, but Clay's back, and we'll see what they do. I mean, they're going to have a top 3 pick most likely.
Yes, they
so
are.
they're going to get one of these amazing freshmen that's coming out.
To add to Draymond, Clay, Curry, Wiggins.
Wiggins looks great.
Let's
they're
go.
going to be fine. They're going to be back
You think?
next year.
Yeah,
They're going to
think
be
they
a
will be.
playoff team next year. I can confidently say
By
that.
the way, how about the Rockets? In the last couple games, hitting on hard times. All of a sudden, 6-7 and under. You know.
At one point, they were
Zubac last
3
night.
for 34 from 3 last night.
Well, I mean,
in
that's
the third
it.
quarter.
You're going to live in. If you're going to go basically 6-8 and under.
Yeah.
6-9 and under,
That's how it
whatever.
goes.
I know I've been saying 6-7, having my fun, but sometimes it is 6-7 under. That if you make you threes, great.
Gravy.
They went 10-2 right after the Capella trade, and now they're 0-2. A hard one too.
Yeah, last night was
Zubac was like
struggle.
he was dominating. Just like keep throwing it down to him, and that's it.
That's what happens when a guy, he's got 6 inches on a guy.
Right.
So, one more NBA note. Lakers signed Deion Waiters for the rest of the season. He had been let go from Miami. And the Brewers locked up Kristen Yelich. 9-year contract extension, a 7-year extension. He's now with the team 9 years through 2028. Total dollars, $215 million.
How about that? I do want to mention before we throw it a break, Amy Trask and then 844-204-RICH will take your calls in this hour because hour 3 is all jammed with guests with Irv and Tim and Jack Henry Robbins in studio together. The Rangers, Mika Zibanejad last night, 5 goals, including the overtime winner, beating back the Caps and Ovechkin. 11 goals in Madison Square Garden.
Dude.
And again, I just need to say this. I will say this. If only Dolan could bring his Rangers ownership to the Knicks. Just like if he only cared about the Knicks the way that he just lets the Rangers do their thing.
I've never seen him at a Ranger game. Does he go and sit?
I don't know where he must sit in a. I don't know.
But I'm just saying, at the NBA games, you're more visible,
Of course
so
you
it's
are.
about being
of course
seen.
You are.
You know,
right? And you don't see There's no Kevins there. There's no nothing there.
No Kevin.
Going to Madison Square Garden for a hockey game it's just amazing.
It is. So
it is passionate. It's amazing. And then 6-5 last night. How about that? A 5-goal game. That's amazing.
Someone on Twitter said, "What's the NBA equivalent of scoring 5 goals in a hockey game?" And they determined it's
50
scoring
points?
61 points or more. The number of 5-goal games and the number of 60-plus point games in NBA are about the same.
And then in case of last night, then a 3-pointer to win it in overtime to give you the 61.
Yep. Big time.
How about us talking pucks? All right. We'll take a break. 844-204-RICH, number to dial. Check on our poll question as well. Amy Trask, longtime front office executive from the National Football League, now with CBS Sports. She is next here on the show. Let's talk about the Callaway Maverick Irons, everybody.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, the Maverick driver, I use that in Hawaii on my escape from the world after the Super Bowl. That Susie was so great that she's just like, get out of here, go hang out with your buddies in Hawaii. And I grabbed that Maverick driver and off I went. The Maverick Irons also have the artificial intelligence that makes the Maverick driver so great. That artificial intelligence, that breakthrough leap in technology is in the irons too. First irons designed by AI, and it's not just one iron, it's the whole set. Every loft on every iron is a flash face cup uniquely designed by AI to completely maximize distance, and it's the center of gravity is precisely positioned throughout your set to give you optimal launch and control. It makes me better, and if it makes me better, it can make you better. I can guarantee you that. Get your set of Maverick irons at CallawayGolf.com. Callaway, the #1 irons in golf as well. All right. Mikey D.
Yep, what's happening, Rich?
He's over there. I'm just looking down right here.
TJ's coming over.
Okay. So we are, here we go. Shall we? What's going on over there, TJ? Did the bots come back all of a sudden? Did the bots descend upon us again? But you're batting them back, right?
Like I said, I'm like Leonidas in 300 right now. I'm just chopping them away.
I like it. Very well done.
I am Spartacus.
This is Sparta.
Somebody say that again, Don. Somebody said that the bots have a better Uber rating than I do.
That's a lot. I didn't want to bring that up to you, but that was a lot of the chat.
Wow.
Mike, and I don't want to have people understate how mad Rich was that day when he found out.
Oh, no. You were out of your
it sounds like a joke, but he was a little bit upset.
Rich, you were so upset. Because when you saw mine being higher, Rich is like, I'm still too far higher rating than me. You were done.
And also, here's another thing that Rich did, and I'm also part of it. When we got into that Uber in Miami and you sat up front, we all sat in the back and we talked a little loud. We got a little rowdy, and I think it was in hopes of maybe Mike's Uber rating dropping.
Yeah, you guys were trying to make my Uber rating drop.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, is
Griselda was the driver.
We took an Uber from our hotel to the set. Okay, not very long. We got in the Uber car of Bleacher Report, famed Bleacher Report employee Tiger Danger.
Tiger Danger, yes.
When we walked up, and we thought that the driver said Del Tufo.
No, we thought it said TJ.
That's right, TJ. That was yours.
That's mine.
Right, you got it.
And we just we thought, and then she walks up and sees her car drive off because she had the license plate on her app. And remember, she banged on the door window like, what gives? And then she noticed it was me in the car.
Yeah, and you were like, get in.
I'm like, get in, because we're going to the same spot. Bleacher and our set was together. So she just got in, and we got a free ride off of her. But that means you left your Uber driver in the lurch.
Yeah, he was. What hotel?
And what is your rating? And what is your rating? That was at the Delano.
We were at the Delano.
What's your rating? What's your rating, TJ?
Well, the thing is, as we were pulling away,
you
in Tiger
are not
Dangers,
answering what your rating is. What's your rating?
It's 488.
And you left a driver hanging.
I mean, we saw him through the back windshield of the car.
We drove
Did you
away.
get demoted for that or no?
I thought I would. I was afraid to look for a few days because I was like, oh, and I tried calling
and
him.
What happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
488.
I mean, nothing.
Nothing.
And I am in the pit of misery.
Dilly.
I am in the pit of misery. I have been thrown through the moon door of Uber.
And the thing was, my guy
falling down, and it's just a long drop. And I've never left a driver hanging once.
Oh, hang on.
You didn't even call back your Miami driver, right, to say that we got one, right?
No, we called once Tiger came and you told her to get in the car.
Yeah, I mean, because we were going to the same spot, and she was cool.
Behind us, I'm like, Chris, there's my Uber.
Driver.
I kept trying to call him to apologize because I was like, oh no, my rating's going to drop, and he never picked up. And so I was.
Do you remember
afraid,
where Del Tufo was in the car?
I was in the front seat.
You were in the front seat.
See, I don't always need the front seat, but when I get in, it goes
He's
up.
also way bigger than you. He should get the front seat.
Well, when I get in the front seat, it goes up.
This whole thing is a friggin' outrage.
We'll never know what the real reason.
I've never left a driver in the lurch, ever.
No, me neither.
All right, when are we back? So, because I think Amy's listening to this whole conversation. We'll be back and on the radio
All right, Amy,
in a second.
get your rating ready.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show, 844-204-RICH, number to dial. We are streaming live on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. Joining me here on the program is a good friend of mine. I've known her for so many years. Certainly met her when she was in the front office as the CEO of the Oakland Raiders. Now she's the She's the chairman of the board of the Big Three, and also on CBS Sports is one of the top analysts in our business, Amy Trask, back here on the show. How are you, Amy?
I'm doing well, and I'm contemplating making an admission on air with you as relates to your Uber discussion. Should I do it?
Please, Amy, the floor is yours.
Yes.
I'm going to admit it, and then I'm going to duck.
Okay.
I have never, ever, ever called, and I don't mean call in the sense, use the app.
Right.
I've never requested on my own an Uber, ever. Now, it's not that I haven't been in an Uber.
Right.
And here comes the admission.
Okay.
My husband does it for me.
Okay.
What's his rating?
What's his rating?
His rating is very, very, very good. But, it's a division of responsibility. So, at one point he said to me, look, I know I always get you your Ubers, but you really ought to have the app in case of an emergency.
Right.
I don't want you out there on a street somewhere without the app. So I said, okay, you know what, that's fair. And I downloaded the app like a year ago, and I still haven't used it because isn't it just easier to say to him, could you get me an Uber?
Yes, of course. That makes sense, but you are somebody who is to say self-sufficient is definitely an understatement. So let me ask you this, Amy. If Al Davis were alive and had an Uber rating, would it be better than mine, do you think?
Yeah, I think it probably would. And by the way, there's a method to my madness. There is a method to my madness.
Yes.
I don't have to worry or stress out about a rating because it ain't my rating. It's my husband's
That's
rating.
right. So you just go for it, Amy. You just
Exactly. I can't believe I just admitted to the world that I don't actually request my own Uber.
Your admission that you don't have or request your own Uber is nothing compared to what I've shared. At 454 is, it is the worst rating I've heard of anybody
It's really bad.
ever. And I don't know what I did, and it's freaking me out, and it's in my skull, and I shared it today. So my admission is crazier than
Rich,
yours, Amy.
It could simply be
Yes.
that given how famous you are and given what a celebrity you are, that your driver has disagreed with something you've said on air. Maybe they don't like a position you've taken and they thought, I'm going to get back at Rich. I'm going to give him a bad rating. It might not be. There may be correlation, not causation, Rich.
Maybe. That's this is why I called you.
Next level.
Maybe I'm being driven by Skip Bayless in my Uber. And he holds a grudge, and he's just like, we're split screened. He's in the front, I'm in the back. Oh my
Or a
God.
fan of his. I got your back on this. I'll
Thank you,
represent
Amy.
you. We'll go get in touch with Uber. We'll ask them to clean it out and say Rich's views expressed on air should not be reflected in his rating. I got your back.
Thank you, Amy Trask, here on the Rich Eisen Show. Have you read the collective bargaining agreement? Have you laid eyes on it? How well?
In its entirety, all the billion pages of it, because I'm delighted to say I no longer have to do that. But yes, I'm generally aware of the terms, and no, I have no plan whatsoever to read every word of that agreement.
So what do you think is happening right now? Walk me through what is happening. Again, there's so much at stake right here. I know there would still be another year to put this thing back together, but you know that what that would mean in terms of setting the clock back, et cetera. Walk everybody through what you think is happening right now, Amy.
Well, there's an underlying premise I think it's important to bear in mind, and I shared this in a piece I just contributed to The Athletic, and that premise is this. NFL careers are, for the most part, as you know, very, very short.
Mm-hmm.
And while we talk all the time about the men who have been or are playing the game for years and years and years and years, most careers are very short. So when some people opine, well, the players should sit out a year to make their point, to increase their leverage because some people believe that would do so, you got to bear in mind that if the average career is very, very short, asking someone to give up what is a significant percentage of his earnings as a player is a very daunting thing to ask. I'm going to throw out a number right now, which is not exact, but Rich, I've been on your show before when I've done the math wrong.
Okay.
And I don't want to do the math wrong now. So I'm just going to use the number 4. And, there is some disagreement as to whether it's slightly under 4 or slightly over. Let's just use 4.
Okay.
If the average career is approximately 4 years, and you're in the league, you've just gotten in, and I say to you, hey, we want you to sit out a year or threaten to sit out a year or sit out what might be almost a year. And when I say sit out, I don't mean individual. Of course, I'm talking about a work stoppage. If I say to you, we're going to have a work stoppage for a year, I'm essentially asking you to give up what could be 25% of your earnings. That's a big, big request. So I think, and by the way, the owners know that. So I think that premise underlies everything we see going on. The other thing is there are men throughout the league of vastly different ages, different viewpoints, different mindsets, different economic wherewithal, if you will. So it's hard to get that many people to agree collectively on what to do.
Yeah, and then there's the issue of what if the players say no? Does that mean this goes all the way to August of 2021, just like the last collective bargaining agreement went to the 11 billionth hour? Like, is that the way it would go, or and would the league postpone talking television contracts until that happens? Walk me through if the answer from the players is no. What happens?
Well, let me start by saying I don't believe ultimately there will be a strike or a lockout, a work stoppage. I don't believe it will come to that for the reasons I just said. The length of careers, the different viewpoints of players. I don't believe ultimately the players will strike. I don't believe ultimately the owners will lock out the players.
Lock out the players during, however, the playing season, because the last time it happened, the players were locked out during the non-playing season, which was a whole to do with free agency and draft and so on and so forth.
Correct. I don't believe games will be missed. And I might go so far, Rich, as to say I don't even think there'll be a lockout during a non-playing part of the year.
Okay.
I think that ultimately there will be a resolution. But that doesn't mean if the players don't agree to this that it would be immediate. Some people think that's a tremendous problem because the economy may shift. And by the way, we're in a boom economy, I should say, up until a week or so ago.
Right.
Now we're in a up and down economy, but ultimately even the strongest economies dip, whether for a specific reason or not. So there will be some people who say, look, you better strike while the iron's hot, while the economy is hot. And other people will give other reasons why the players should agree now. I don't know that this particular moment right this very second is important. I don't believe ultimately we will see a work stoppage. Okay.
And what about the television contracts? Because that's been my response. Amy Trask here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm not terribly well versed on this collective bargaining agreement, and I'm all for players getting whatever they need to get, because as you point out, anywhere between 3 and 5 years is the average career here in the NFL, and then even if you have one of the most successful careers in the NFL that you sign for, say, Marshall Faulk's career, which every single running back would do right now. Marshall, by the middle of his 30s, was done playing football, and the rest of his life ahead of him. And, he got a career in broadcasting going, and not many people are fortunate enough to do all that, as well as be a businessman like Marshall is. The reason why, that's my preamble to this, is that the players, to give the hammer to the NFL before they go to television networks and say, we've got a 17th game and 2 extra playoff games to sell, that whatever the percentage is, if you're unhappy with it, at least it would be filled completely up to the brim. They wouldn't leave a single penny on the table. I wonder what you say to something like that, Amy.
Well, look, every single aspect of this is a negotiation, and there's a give and take. And some players will tell you, to use your expression, we want the pennies filled to the brim. Other players will say to you, look, we'll take a bit under the brim, but we want different lifestyle and practice schedule and health and safety concerns and issues. Not every player is going to participate filling it to the brim. And again, I think that's a real problem for any large body when negotiating on behalf of everyone in that body, because you have men of different ages, different economic wherewithal, different career spans. Some are going to prioritize the money. Some are going to prioritize other things.
Okay. Before I let you go, Amy, do your best to crystal ball. You're the first Raiders quarterback to throw a pass in a regular season game in the new Raiders Death Star in Las Vegas, Nevada, would be, as you sit here right now, your best guess would be fill in the blank.
Ooh, So that is a heck of a good question.
Thank you.
Because we all know John's views as to quarterbacks and, the grass being greener and my eyes are on the other person. And I guess if you're to put the proverbial gun to my head, which I kind of feel like you're doing right now, and I say that in a good way because
Okay.
it's what makes you good at what you do.
Thank you, Amy.
I guess I would say it's Carr, but that doesn't mean they don't add another quarterback or quarterbacks either through free agency, because there are some very attractive ones, or through the draft, or both.
But it is a viable supposition, and the reputation that John isn't always thoroughly enamored with the quarterback he has.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that meme or whatever you call it that we all saw a while ago with the guy walking with one woman down the street and he's turning around and looking at the other woman? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Well, the guy could be John. The woman to his right could be his current quarterback, whoever that is. And he's turning around and looking at another quarterback, whoever that is. I mean, that is just the perfect way to encapsulate it.
Well done. So it is accurate. That is an accurate portrayal of the way John looks at quarterbacks, right?
My experience.
He loved Gannon, though, didn't he? He loved Rich.
He did. That is true. That is true. And those two had a very, very strong symbiotic relationship.
Right. So
really good point.
Like Gannon would be, to use the meme, Gannon would be both quarterbacks, both women in that meme, right?
Oh, you're getting deep now with the meme analysis.
Well, I'm trying.
The other thing about Carr, though,
Yes.
and this goes to whether it's Carr or I was asked the other day about Cam Newton in Carolina. If you're going to change quarterbacks or coaches or make any business decision, whether sports or otherwise, you better ask yourself the question, and do what? And the answer to that question better be at least as good as the status quo, if not better. Because if someone, all through my career, some people would say, you ought to get rid of this quarterback, you ought to get rid of this coach. And I would say, and do what? Because if you don't have a good answer that's as good or better than the status quo, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, there is a 6-time Super Bowl moment, or he pulls Mayock to the side, or it was at the Combine, or at any moment. Maybe he's with Mark Davis at the Fury Wilder fight or something, where Brady is definitely on his radar screen. Amy?
I would think Brady's on the radar screen of many, many teams. And look, Brady brings something beyond on-field skill. And as applies to the Raiders and the Chargers in particular, he brings something from a business perspective. Both the Raiders and the Chargers, and I'm leaving the Rams out because they have Goff at quarterback, and I ain't taking on my Cal Bear, okay? Let's just leave Cal Bears aside.
Right.
So looking at the Chargers and the Raiders, they both have product to sell in new buildings, markets to capture, business to conduct, fans to win over in their new, obviously there's tremendous Raider fans who will travel with the team to Vegas, but they're in a new market just like the Chargers are, and Brady helps from a business standpoint as well.
So how does that factor into the conversation? Because, I mean, obviously there's nobody from the business side of things, I imagine, sitting in draft rooms or sitting in draft prep rooms, right? But that has to be a consideration if you're the Chargers or the Raiders with their new buildings.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it should be. And I can tell you from my years in the league, it would have been a discussion. Do we want to allocate the money to this? And then there'd be a discussion not only from the football side and the football people sharing the football perspective about whether the money is worth it from an X's and O's standpoint, but the business people weighing in. Yes, this will sell us more product. Yes, we can monetize this. Yes, we'll gain more fan avidity. So there are those discussions that I would say do in most and should in all the organizations go on.
Well,
now, by the way,
yeah.
I worked for a team owner in Al Davis
Right.
who didn't care about that. He was going to spend the money or not based solely on football considerations, and I was the girl pointing at the balance sheet and the financial statements and the banking covenant saying, could we just talk about this a little bit? And that wasn't his raison d'etre.
No kidding. So I find that fascinating, Amy, that Al didn't, because he's owning the team. I mean, like that. So this is a dual hat. But he never, like, let's just say, if he was in the situation that Mark's in right now, where Tom Brady is hitting the market, Tom Brady is interested, and you've got Derek Carr sitting right there, and Gruden can give you his 2 cents. He wouldn't care that Brady would do all sorts of stuff that would bring?
No. Then I didn't articulate it well, if that's the impression I created. My point was, and what I attempted to articulate as poorly as I did was, Al's focus would have been on the football field.
Right.
His analysis would have been, would this player help us win? And I would have raised economic issues, both pros and cons, and he would have looked at me and said, you worry about that, you worry about the finances, and he would have done what he believed best from a football standpoint.
What do you think Al would do with Brady and Carr?
Oh, I never, ever would speculate on that. I just don't think it's fair for me to do that.
Okay.
Is that kind of weird to me?
But he'd love the design of the stadium, though, right? That we're looking at right now. He'd love that.
He sure would love that it's black the way it is.
Yeah. Although you'd have to explain to him what the Death Star is, correct? Isn't that correct? About the Star Wars Death Star? Didn't you have to explain to him who?
Yeah. That would be just like that Darth. I won't even repeat on air how that would go, because that would go kind of like our Darth Vader discussion.
Right, where you met Darth Vader, he had no idea because Darth Vader was on the field in a full outfit, and you had to explain to him who Darth Vader was. Correct? That happened.
Yes, I prevailed upon him to greet Darth and extend some gracious courtesy, because Darth was there as part of a sponsorship. And as I said, Al's response to me, I won't repeat on air.
You are the best, Amy. Thanks for the call. You take care of yourself. We'll chat soon. Okay.
Thanks for having me, as always, Rich.
You got it. Say hi to your much better Uber rating husband. Okay.
I will, and I got your back. If you need me to appeal to Uber for you, I'm on it.
Thank you, Amy. You are the best advocate anybody can have. That's Amy Trask, at Amy Trask on Twitter, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. She had to explain to Al Davis who Darth Vader was, even though Al had no idea who he's being compared to that actual figure in so many different corners of the earth.
It's great.
Okay, that was fun. 844-204-RICH. Every phone line is lit. Michael Irvin will be joining us in hour number 3. Tim and Jack Henry Robbins of the new film VHYes. That's coming up here on this radio station, as well as our live. You can watch us on YouTube. Feed youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. All right, we're back here. We're going to show a video from back in our day. We're going to chit-chat here. What are you doing here? Ah, yes. Remember when Dolph Lundgren was here?
Oh, amazing. Yes.
And we tried, he had 9 lines in Rocky IV. We attempted to have him recite all 9 of them. This was so much fun. Take a look. I have in my hands, Dolph Lundgren, the 9 lines. You had not, as Drago, as Ivan Drago, you had 9 speaking lines, 2 in Russian, 7 in English. Let's just see how many you can recall.
Wow.
Dolph Lundgren, the stage is yours.
Jesus. All right. Well,
No, that was not one of them.
No, that wasn't.
You did not say that
No, I
word.
didn't say Jesus. Okay, because the communists, they're not religious,
If you do you want to do it in character, you want to do it in character too?
Yeah,
Okay.
one of course was, let me see. First I fought Apollo Creed, and that was "You Will Lose." When he kissed my gloves,
You will lose.
You will lose, and his feet come off the ground. Dink. Stallone says, "I think you don't want to postpone the fight," and then I say, "You will lose."
Yes.
And then if he dies, he dies. Was of course when he was going to die, and then
that's 2.
There's Stallone in the ring, right?
That's 3.
He is like a piece of iron was in Russian. On kak shaleza or something like that.
He's not a human. He's like a piece of iron, which is one of the Russian lines. Correct. You have 4 of them. You've got 1 more in Russian, and you have 4 more in English.
And what do I win? A pair of boxing gloves?
No, you get trained like an action hero.
That's
written
for
by
you.
Dolph Lundgren.
That's for you.
Okay, very good.
Okay, Russian. Okay, I had 1 more. To the end was in English.
Yes.
To the end.
Yeah. Till the end is in English. Correct.
And then, come on. I think I grunted out something like that.
I don't know. That's
no. Okay.
You're addressing the Politburo. Is a clue.
Oh yes, I fight for me.
Yes.
I fight for me. Я себя.
I fight to win.
I fight for myself. I fight to win.
That's right.
That's why I lift that fat dude in the suit down.
3 more in English, Dolph Lundgren. That is not one of your lines.
All right. Okay, let's see. If he dies, he dies.
You will lose.
You will lose.
I must break you.
I must break you. To the end. We said that one, right?
Mm-hmm. I'll give you a hint.
Right.
The word defeat or a form is in all three.
Oh yes, I defeat old champion.
Soon I defeat real champion.
Real champion. Soon I defeat real champion. Yeah, that's after he dies, right? What else? There's a little speech there, right? That's what. Maybe
I've got.
Right before if he dies, he dies.
True.
Yeah.
Right before if he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
Soon I defeat real champ.
Here, I've circled the last two for you to read. Is Drago.
I cannot be defeated. I defeat old man. Soon I defeat real champion.
So much fun, man.
I mean, he was great.
He was great.
Drago. Great soundtrack. That's the best one of the best of the 80s.
What?
That's the
Rocky IV.
Rocky IV.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of the best soundtracks.
What year was that movie? What year was Rocky IV?
Rocky IV, 80. I want to say 86.
6. I'm with Brockman on that one. If I think
all of those sequels.
85.
The sequels, the Mr. T and Dolph Lundgren, whatever. Let's not forget, Rocky was an Academy Award nominated Best Picture. And didn't Stallone win the Academy Award for writing?
I think he did. He won.
He did.
Hold on.
And by the way,
great year
I
of
think
movies.
he beat out Patty Chayefsky for writing Network.
Which
Hold on.
Look
Rocky
that up.
was on. I mean, I
He's
remember
never won. Nominated for
He
3
didn't
Oscars.
win?
Okay.
Nominated for 3
Wow, I
Oscars.
thought he won it for that. Sorry.
He was nominated for Best Actor in 1977 and Screenplay.
Okay.
Didn't
what
win.
were the other? What were the other? Can you
Didn't
click
win.
on to see what the
pictures.
other?
Network won, I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't
hold on
think
a
so.
second. 1977 Academy Awards. Best Actor, Peter Finch won for Network.
Network, right?
Yeah.
Well, he did. He was Howard Beale. He won posthumously.
Yes.
For that, right?
Screenplay.
Who else?
Hold on, I gotta scroll down.
Best Picture.
Scrolling down.
I don't think Network won that.
Best Picture, Rocky won.
Rocky did win.
Rocky won for.
That's right.
Beat Bound for Glory, Taxi Driver, All the President's Men,
All
and,
horrible movies.
and Network.
I mean,
Rocky beat him out.
I mean,
Rocky
that's
won.
insane.
You know why?
Best Screenplay that year, All the President's Men won.
Okay.
William Goldman. Bound for Glory, Fellini's Casanova, Voyage of the Damned, The 7% Solution.
By the way, you know why Rocky was won for Best Picture?
Oh, sorry, that was adapted.
Okay.
Best Original Network won.
I mean, Patty
Best original,
Chayefsky.
yeah.
The reason why Rocky won? Because it's a love story, guys. It's not a sports movie. It's a love story.
Rocky One's a love story. The other Rockies are
Definitely not.
sports
Obviously.
movies.
So Aaron Rodgers just appeared on ESPN Radio in Wisconsin, and was talking about CBA. This I'm getting this from Birch at NFL Network from our assignment desk and our news desk right now.
Yeah, good quote from Aaron Rodgers here.
Said he's reached out to 73 guys on his team, and has heard little to no response. Disheartening is what he said, that guys around the league aren't critically thinking about the deal. The hardline issues for him are lifetime health care. He wants lifetime health care and for the players, and he wants a 50-50 revenue split. He wants it 50-50, which it used to be, and then it went to 53-47, right?
Right. And it could go up to 48.5.
He said 17 games is a non-starter. What are we getting back? It's not enough. That's why it's a no for me. And when asked if it'll pass, he said, I don't know. Been talking to guys. I don't even know how many people vote. It's 50% of the guys who vote. It's not 50% of everyone who got the email. Some guys are okay with 17 games like the minimum bumps. I don't have a feeling. I think it's going to be closer than people think. Okay. And now here's the possibility of the Packers drafting a quarterback. Quote, no matter who you bring in, they're not going to be able to beat me out anytime soon. Aaron Nagler.
That's what you want him to say.
Hey, man. It's true.
It's true. Yeah, for sure.
It's true.
Aaron Rodgers, is he going to be 36?
I mean,
when
any
the
of these
season
guys that
starts?
you draft in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, 6th round, what are they going to beat out Aaron Rodgers?
He is 36 right now.
I know. So he's right. It's not going to be anytime soon. And you're not. I mean, if this guy plays at this level all the way through to 40, what are you're gonna sit him down? You're gonna give this new guy a whirl? Come on now. Let's go to the phone lines here on the Rich Eisen Show. Adam in Vegas. Let's get Adam in Vegas here on the program. What's up, Adam?
Hey, Rich, longtime fan.
Attaboy.
I was going to give you, just from my experience, I love interacting with people, and you're kind of stuck in the car for 8 to 10 hours a day sometimes.
You're an Uber driver?
So when someone's on the... Yes.
Okay.
And so when someone's hops in the car, if they're on the phone a lot, you kind of can't really listen to music. You don't really get to talk to anybody. So it's kind of just really off-putting.
Do you get to have preferences on who you pick up? Because I get, when I hit a button, it says, what are your preferences? Do you prefer we don't talk? I mean, if somebody says, I'm going to hit the button for the car, and I prefer you don't say a word to me, I'm letting you know when we get together in your car, I don't want you to open your mouth to me. Do those people have a better Uber rating than me? Is that possible?
No. Well, I mean, it all depends. If they don't care if I'm listening to the radio, I'll probably actually be listening to you.
Huh.
But,
well, okay.
But otherwise, if somebody just hops in and it all depends on how they approach the not talking.
Right.
When we get a request for a ride, all we get is kind of a general location. That's it. And what their star rating is at this time.
A star rating is at this. And so what if you see somebody's got a 4.54 rating? What do you think when they're requesting a ride?
Dude, I'm in the car to make money. I don't care if you got a 2-star rating.
Okay. I like it, Adam. Well done. I give him 5 stars for that
I
call.
have a special setting on mine that says, will make ears bleed. Talking.
No, stop,
I talk
Mike.
a lot. No, I mean, I talk a lot.
Come on.
I love talking.
But you're friendly. People like you.
Let's take a call from Hungary. Is this like Hungary? Like Europe Hungary? Is this
Yes,
Bozzy?
it is. Hey, Rich.
You're calling from Europe right now?
Yes, I do.
Well, welcome. What's on your mind?
I just have a question for you guys. So
okay.
I was thinking about what if Brady takes his talent to Santa Clara?
Yeah.
The Niners trade Jimmy to the Raiders or the Colts. They swap first-round picks, and the Niners to draft Jordan Love.
Wow. Could you imagine if that
and,
happened?
If the rumors are true, also the Niners, they can get AB too if he gets himself together.
Now, when we had, and thank you for the call, by the way. Appreciate you calling from. Are you watching on YouTube? You listening to us? What are you doing? Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
I'm just wondering.
Mike
you already hung up the phone, huh? That's quick, brother.
Sorry.
And plus, I wanted to know what the conversion rate for a 4.54 Uber rating is in Hungary. Is that better in Hungary?
Still bad, buddy. Still bad.
Jimmy G to the Raiders. I'm telling you, man, just because Brady gets signed there doesn't mean that you're going to trade Jimmy G back to New England. That doesn't mean that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
You could go to anybody. Anybody wants. Who wants Jimmy G for $25 million per on average over the next 3 years? Of course.
Yes.
But I don't think. Did he basically suggest that the Niners draft Jordan Love? Is that what he suggested?
I think so. Yeah.
Jordan Love's not going to go past 15.
Jordan Love's also not going to sit. He's going to start next year.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. If you want to extrapolate out that this guy's the next Mahomes.
Or just Mahomes light.
Mahomes sat for the first 16 games, which is, again, nuts. Because like I keep telling you.
It's nuts to think about now.
It's nuts
at
because
the time.
No,
it made
because again,
sense.
the idea is to win a championship with a newly drafted quarterback in the first iteration of his contract because it's inexpensive enough for you to be able to spread the salary cap love around and win with a team. And they've already done that in Mahomes' first contract with 2 years left on it. And he missed the first year of it. and he was the MVP of the league in year 2 and the Super Bowl MVP in year 3. And he tells LeBron in the shop and Maverick Carter in the shop that he was just figuring it out the year he threw 50 touchdowns.
Didn't learn how to read a defense till midway through last year.
Michael Irvin coming up next, and then Tim and Jack Henry Robbins in studio. That's hour 3 here on the show. Okay, everybody, we're back here on the program. Edward Norton was here on the program to promote his latest film.
It's a few months
Motherless
ago.
Brooklyn. Yeah, and by the way, that's done really well on our YouTube page. Check that out. Came on to Halloween of this past year.
He did.
Here he was chatting. We chatted movies with him, including that whole Die Hard Christmas movie stuff, because Bruce Willis was in his new movie. Check it out. So I'm going to go here right now, Chris. And you're a filmmaker, and you are an actor with trophies in the case. Do you consider Die Hard a Christmas movie? Would you say that is a Christmas movie, Edward Norton?
Emphatically, yes.
Thank you, Edward.
Oh, my gosh.
Vindicated once again.
I mean, okay. I do not. I do not. Why do you feel that way so emphatically? Yes.
I'll tell you why. Because it fits in with my dad, on the who worked really hard, and so the Christmas holiday was, it was a fun time to sit back on the couch, and we would watch movies like The Dirty Dozen and The Great Escape, and I think it's one of those. I think it's not just because he wears the Santa hat, but because it's what I associate. It's the fun kind of movie that I associate with over the holidays, finally having some time to sit back and watch a movie with my dad.
Because to me, a Christmas movie is about angels. It's about the holiday spirit. It's about a miracle happening. It's about a feel-good.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think It's a Wonderful Life. That's what I think of.
Yes.
I don't think of Hans Gruber trying to blow up Nakatomi Plaza. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. No. That's a completely rational argument. I get why you think that.
Right, just because there's a holiday party and they're playing music, and as you say, ho, 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 I have a machine gun is a great line. I just don't, that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. No, let's put it this way. If you said to me, does Die Hard have the Christmas spirit? I would say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, now we're getting, I think we can agree to disagree, because Jake Tapper, the screenwriter, I think Steven D'Souza, they're all like, yes, emphatically Christmas movie. Yeah. I say absolutely not.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis, as you know, at the end of his roast, I don't know if you saw his roast. You were obviously at the roast. The line that he said at the end.
Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay, right?
Yeah, so he said that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Oh, he did. That's
which
right.
was written for him by his significant other. So I guess we're coming full circle on that front.
I think that there's part of the. If you're really lucky and you get to have a career and work with various people, sometimes you really like getting to work with Bruce, getting to work with Alec, getting to work with Willem Dafoe. Like those are people I came up on, and and idolized in different ways. Willem was the quintessential New York theater actor who still had his own theater company and went off and was a movie star and an Academy Award-winning actor. And
Platoon.
Yeah, but like me and Phil Hoffman and Bobby and Mark Ruffalo and everyone who went to New York to be actors and was in theater companies, Willem was like, if you could have that kind of career where you kept the straddle between, that's it, you know what I mean? And getting to like direct and work with him, that was like a peak experience.
yesterday on The Rich Eisen Show.
And then the PDF of the collective bargaining agreement, which, according to all reports, is 456 pages long. So when was the last time either of you guys read anything 456 pages long? I mean, a legal document with all the fine print and what the formulas to figure out what the payment is here. Do they send it to a lawyer friend of theirs, say, read it and just, and
tell me how to vote? I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they've got a week to figure this out.
Another Rich Eisen Show is coming at you right now.
Brady in the end zone.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Fires, pass batted up in the air, intercepted, and returned for a touchdown, Titans!
Live.
If I'm Tom Brady
In Los Angeles.
and I'm got 2 years to go and I want to win a championship, San Francisco is the spot to force your way to. He's got 2 years to go, right? Why shouldn't he be a bull in a china shop?
The Rich Eisen Show. Earlier on the show, former Raiders CEO Amy Trask. Coming up, Pro Football Hall of Famer Michael Irvin. Plus, from the new film VHYes, actors Tim Robbins and Henry Robbins. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Okay, everybody, hour number 3 of the Rich Eisen Show is on the air. Great chat with Amy Trask last hour, where we talked about the collective bargaining agreement, where Aaron Rodgers is still a hard no, as he just told ESPN Radio in Wisconsin. But he also says that he's been waiting to hear back from a lot of his teammates to talk about it, and he hasn't really heard much in response. He said it left him a little disheartened, is the way he put it. So Amy gave her 2 cents on the subject matter. You can check it all out on our YouTube page, where you can check us out right now. And I would suggest you doing that if you're listening to us and you have the ability to do it at youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, because I just had a very nice chat backstage with Tim Robbins and Henry Robbins, the father-son, if you will, combination that's going to be coming out right here. Not if you will, they are shortly. Henry Robbins has a new film called VHYes. It's a retro comedy with a 12-year-old taping some of his favorite late-night television and other moments from his life, recording over his parents' wedding video on VHS. I'm holding right here the VHS copy of VHYes.
Outstanding.
Reminds me back in the day of when I used to rent stuff from Blockbuster.
Dude.
And
please be kind, rewind.
I left. I didn't return a copy of Aliens for literally years. Literally years. I'm sharing. I've got a 4.54 Uber rating, and I spent like a year and a half not returning the movie Aliens. I can't even remember how much my late fees were. But when I finally returned it, I did rewind it because I'm kind.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Be kind, rewind. Anyway, we'll chat about this film. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of fun cameos in it. Thomas Lennon's hilarious, and so is Tim Robbins, who's in it. He'll be out here shortly, which kind of completes in many different ways a little bit of a Bull Durham run. We've had Ron Shelton here. We've had Kevin Costner here. Now we'll have Tim Robbins here.
Yeah.
One of the great sports films of all time. And obviously, Tim, an Academy Award-winning actor, has been in several great movies, period, end of story. But we turn to the phone lines right now, and we find a 54-year-old man. One day late. Happy birthday to you, Michael Irvin. How are you, sir?
Rich. I am here again.
Yes.
I'm doing well, Rich. But listen.
Yes.
I am 47 plus 7.
Okay.
I told you I stopped taking the numbers. At some age, at some time, someplace, we should be able to say no more numbers. I'll take a celebrated day.
Yes.
But I'm not adding on any numbers. At 47 was my favorite number, my college numbers. I stopped taking ages at 47. So 47 plus 7, you can say that.
Well,
I'm not 54.
In that vein, I celebrated my 20th annual 30th birthday just this past year, right?
I understand.
You understand that? But I choose 30 just because it's a number. You choose 47 because that's your number from the U, though, right, Irv? Correct?
And yes, it was one of my favorite numbers. It's my number from the U, and it's still a good age. 47 means you're still young enough to be in it, but old enough to know. You know what I'm saying? Well, once you turn over that 50, you get that AARP card, and then people start saying, you're an old man. You know,
I got one.
Hey,
I got one of those too.
I saw Jamie Foxx joking about it. He said he was doing a show, and he said one of the girls came up to him and said, "How old are you?" He said he's 49. He said, you have the 49? Like it's a disease when you get that age. Like you have the 50? You already 50? Like, so I just stopped. I said, let me just stop at 47 and just add years like that.
I love it. Well, happy belated birthday, Irv. Let's get into it.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Of course. Let's get into it. Why is Brady being attached in any way, shape, or form, even rumored, to the Cowboys? Is there anything possible on that front, Irv?
Well, there was so much talk about it early on, and then I was out in not L.A., but Miami for the Super Bowl, and I even talked with some people about it because I thought there's no way that's happening. And then when I started talking to people, I said, "Oh, wait a minute." I thought it was no way it's happening because there's no interest on either side. Then I learned that there is some interest on one of the sides, and that kind of woke me up and said, "Wow." But I don't think there's a possibility of that happening because in order for any deal to happen, both sides have to agree. I just heard you talking about Brady being a bull in a china shop and forcing his way to San Francisco. But even that, Brady's great. He's the greatest to ever do it. And he should have an opportunity, and New England has given him that opportunity to pick a place. Go pick a place. If you get another opportunity, you will give it to you. You've earned that. But the other place also has to pick him, and right now I just don't see it happening in Dallas.
Well, I mean, that one when I heard that, Dallas, I mean, look, at some point they're going to figure out Dak's contract. At some point that has to be handled, and even if somehow, some way it's not, they'll franchise tag him, right? I mean, and figure out how to take between now and July, and if need be, go into the season with him on a Cousins contract, right, Irv? I mean, that's the way it's going to go with Dak and Jerry.
Right. And if that franchise number is $33 million, not a bad number or something like that. 33. I've heard 30, and I don't know it exactly. I've heard 30, 32, 28. So all of that is good number. All of that is good number. Just to be franchised, and then of course the next year it'll be 39 or something like that. So we're talking about incredible numbers. But I think what's best for the Cowboys, and hopefully Dak says and sees what's best for him, is for them to work out a long-term deal. This team works around Dak. The one thing about Tom, you bring Tom Brady in, Rich, you got to bring in everything that Tom does. You got to bring in his system. And I'm not saying that if you do happen to bring in Tom, that you should. That's exactly what you should do, is bring in his system, and that would be quite a thing. I did a show here, and guys were asking me, well, do you think Tom can make a difference? I said, let me give it to you this way: give Tom the talent that Dak had around him in New England last year. Do you think they have a chance at winning the Super Bowl? And the answer has to be absolutely yes.
So, you heard about Amari Cooper, right? And what he had to say locally, Irv? But he says he wants to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I think we have that soundbite. Do we have that, Mike Del Tufo? Can you play Amari Cooper to set up the conversation with Irv?
I love being a Dallas Cowboy. I love everything about it. I was just thinking about that today. I think about it almost every day, really. Just primetime games. We play what seems like more night games than anybody, and that always feels good to a football player. Everything, the facility, I love it here in Frisco, where I stay at now. Just the aura of being a Dallas Cowboy. I mean, you can't beat it. So I want to be a Dallas Cowboy for life.
Well, you know what that means. You were a Dallas Cowboy for life, Irv. Do you think he's going to get that?
I certainly hope so, Rich. And I've been telling everybody, man, everybody's talking about, we got to get Dak signed. I said, yeah, but why invest all that money if you give him no one to throw it to? So we have to make sure that you also get Amari signed. You remember what it was like? We were doing those shows a couple of years ago before Amari Cooper came to Dallas. They looked horrific at the wide receiver position, which made Dak look horrific. You don't want to go back to that. You do not want to go back to that. If anything, once you give this man the kind of money that Dak's going to command and demand and is demanding, you got to give him help around it. So somehow, some way, I love hearing that Amari Cooper loves being here in that conversation. He also talked about his great relationship with Dak Prescott, and he understands that sometimes when you get traded, you don't always end up in a lucky spot like that. So hopefully they'll be able to get that deal done. And when Jerry hears that interview, that says, "Oh, so you're willing to work with me on this." That's what Jerry hears when he hears, "I want to be a Cowboy for life." That means, "Oh, so you're willing to take a little bit less to stay here for life." I guarantee you he'll bring that up.
I love that. And what's going on with Dez? Is there any there about a reunion, Irv?
I was with Dez the other night at the basketball game, man. And speaking of Rich, watching Zion and Luka go at it. Oh my God, that was incredible, man.
bet.
It was just phenomenal to watch those two guys. It really was. But I was with them at the game, and I talked about it, and we talked about it. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. His face just lights up. It blows my mind how much of a Cowboy he is. You know, I remember a couple of years ago when Baltimore was offering him a 3-year deal. I don't know, maybe $25-30 million or whatever. And he basically just said, "No, I don't want it. I don't want it." But now he's ready to come back and play for Dallas for a lot. Let me put one more lot on there, a lot less. And that's amazing. That tells you how much he loves the Cowboys. And really, I think he only really wants to play for the Cowboys. But I think that would be an interesting pickup if they made that pickup. Because, guys, let me tell you something. It's hard to be an alpha male. An alpha male. Alpha says first. Alpha says everything comes through me. And then all of a sudden to come back to that same uniform, that same helmet, in the same locker room, and now you're the Omega male. You know, now you're the bottom. Now Omega says the end. Now you go from being first to the last. And it's a hard thing in that same uniform, in that same locker room, to go from being first to last. It'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Well, the question is Jerry into it? I mean, Jerry said he thought about it in the shower. What did he mean by that? I
don't know.
Can you translate?
There's a lot of places.
Translate that.
I love how you ask the question, Rick. Rick, I love how you ask the question like, well, what does he mean by he thought about it in the shower? What was he doing in the shower that made him think? Whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know why Jerry said stuff like that.
I don't know.
But you know, hey man, all I can say, Dez did go up and get the ball. You know, he went up and got the ball. So I don't know what he's in the shower thinking about. Hopefully he's thinking about Dez still having the ability to get up and get the ball and make some plays.
All right. Michael Irvin here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what do you think Brady's thinking right now? Because, you know, I do believe he is thinking San Francisco. Like deep down, I think he wants to see if that's possible. Irv.
But, you know, you always, Rich, there's no doubt. Every player will tell you. I don't care who, that ultimately he wants to play for the team that he grew up loving. That's the ultimate dream, to one day line up. You either want to play for the team you grew up loving or play for the team that you grew that's right there in your hometown. Sometimes, you know, maybe sometimes it's another team. But like me, I always wanted to play for the Dolphins. I mean, I love the Cowboys. My dad was a Cowboy fan, but I always, I wanted to go help Dan Marino get that Super Bowl. I watched Mark Clayton and Mark Duke, so I know that would be incredible for him. And that team is right there. That team is right there. And I said last year in that Super Bowl, I thought San Fran would win it, but I knew it would come down to Jimmy Garoppolo making plays in the end. And they were right there. Had he hit that pass to Emmanuel Sanders, maybe they win that football game. And that was the difference right there in that football game. So there's no doubt in my mind Tom Brady would love to go home, especially with that team that he has right there in San Francisco.
Did Jimmy ever call you, when you were perhaps towards the end of your career and say, how about come play with me one more time in Miami if you were physically able to do it? Did you ever get a call like that, Irv?
No, we never really had that conversation. By then, I was already too engrafted with the Dallas Cowboys to leave a place that I won 3 Super Bowls to go and try to build, you know what I mean, and try to build on to something at that place. I just didn't think that was viable for me. And, you know, things have changed now. Back in the day, Rich, it was great to be able to stay with one team. Now everybody, even in basketball and football, LeBron has made it popular. You kind of go and do your thing when your contract is up and bounce around, kind of be a hired gun. But I still like the idea. I still hope Tom Brady plays in New England. I still hope Like, but who am I? I wanted Michael Jordan to end in Chicago, and that didn't work out. So certainly this can have a possibility of Tom Brady ending up somewhere else.
All right. Before I let you go, it's a weird question to ask live on the air, but I'm asking it anyway because it was something we talked about for me in hour one. Your Uber rating. Do you have your Uber rating? Do you know that what that would be off the top of your head, Michael?
No, and it was interesting when I heard you mention your Uber rating. I was like, who knows their Uber rating?
Well, you know,
my rating should be high with all them Uber receipts I have.
Well,
how do they rate you?
Well, here's what you do. Do you have your phone with your Uber app on your phone right now, right, Irv?
I do.
Okay, open it up. Go ahead and open it up, and then look at your top left. When you open it up, it should say your name, and then there should be a number in the top left portion of your app. And you tell me what it is. Oh, did we just? Did he just hang up?
This is good. Yeah, your rating's going down even now. More.
Call him back.
You just can't do two things at once.
Call him back. Get him back on the phone. By the way, here's a guy who says, I'm not an old man. I'm not an old man. He's like, hold on a second.
Hold on a second. Let me.
Then he hit the wrong button.
Hang on.
You got to call him back.
Oh.
It's going to be higher. Everybody loves Michael Irvin. They're going to give him 5 stars every single damn time.
Yeah.
But there are a lot
like
of
Eagles fans?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Eagles fans?
Eagles,
Yeah.
Giants,
I don't buy that.
Redskins.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, if he takes one in Philly.
I don't buy it.
All right, Adam's calling him back.
I don't buy that at all.
Adam's calling him back.
If it's 488, I'm going to lose my mind.
Oh, that'd be the best. I mean, be perfect.
If it's 88 on the back end, then I know it's a fix. Man, I got a 4 and then Urlacher's number. That's no good.
That's no good. No, that's real bad.
You know, my gosh.
That's great.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if Irv knows how to do this. But
He's going to call him. He's probably trying to figure this thing out now.
It's fine.
At any rate, long story short, Tim Robbins and Jack Henry Robbins are going to come out here right now. We're trying to get Irv back on the phone. I bet you it's going to be really good. Here's what we'll do.
That guy does take a lot of Ubers.
He does.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we all do.
He's a busy
Smitch
guy.
has like 4. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Is
Irv back on the phone? Is Irv back on? You there, Irv?
Back on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I got it.
What's your Uber rating? Do you know it?
Well, wait. I went in. I clicked the top left button. Hold on. I want to see this too.
You click on your Uber button and then go top. You see the 3
hit
horizontal lines at the top left in the circle?
Oh, yeah. I see it.
What's your rating, Irv?
Wait. Rich.
Yeah.
What was yours, Rich?
454.
What was yours?
454.
Rich, I'm a 477. Listen how great that is. 47. I just talked about this number. I'm a 477. Is that not incredible? Boy, that's good things coming. That's good things coming, buddy. 477.
Everybody loves Michael Irvin. What the hell? I did nothing. I did nothing to earn this rating, and I can't. I'm in a riptide. I can't get out of it. No matter how nice I am.
How do they give you the rating? What are they rating it on? Are they rating it on tips? Talking to people? How do they rate that?
Well, question. We've had Uber drivers calling in throughout the entire show so far, and they have told me, they'll just give people who vomit in their car 5 stars, and others will say like, we want you to talk. It's like, different strokes for different folks, Irv. But obviously,
I should have a 5-star. Listen, man, I get in Uber. I have to take pictures. I have to sign autographs. I should get a 5. A 5. Why do I even have? Not that I'm complaining about a 4.7 because that says good luck for me. But I should have a 5 because I'm giving them value, not just the money. I have to every time I have to step out, take a picture in the Uber with the Uber driver and everything else. Like,
You're giving value. Yes, exactly. You're a value add. You're a value-added ride. All right, Irv. That's the competitive spirit that puts you in Canton right there on display. That's it.
Interesting, buddy. That's interesting. I just want to know that I beat you, Rich. That's all. So think about that, Rich. In what other world will I beat you in anything when we start talking about like customer satisfaction, any kind of thing? I lose it everywhere when it comes to you and me in a comparative analysis, except Uber has me better, and I appreciate Uber.
Happy birthday, Irv. Happy birthday. Take care of yourself, buddy.
All right, love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Appreciate it,
It's Michael Irvin, everybody.
Thanks, man.
I love it. All right, let's take a break. When we come back here, Tim Robbins and his son, Jack Henry Robbins, the new film that's in theaters right now and on demand. It's called VHYes. I can't wait to have Tim and Jack Henry Robbins together next on The Rich Eisen Show. Honda Ridgeline, baby. It's not tailgating season right now for football, but guess what? We are all counting down the days, and this is the greatest tailgating vehicle ever because you can load up your car. Load up your 2020 Honda Ridgeline, drive it like a boss into the parking lot, and then open everything up. Everything up. The 5,000-pound towing capacity is one way to go in there. The all-wheel drive model makes the truck smart as it is tough. But guess what? You can tailgate like you mean it because the bed of the truck goes from the right all the way to the back, and then there's the in-bed truck audio system.
Amazing. I
don't know how they do that. It sounds like the speakers are on the outside.
It's amazing. Unreal.
And then there's the in-bed lockable trunk. So you take all your gear, lock it in the trunk, and then go into the game. And then go home, and there's comfortable seating, and it's fully loaded with tech throughout. And also, you can get it with Honda Sensing to make sure you get from points A to B nice and safely and sound. So when we come back, the Robbinses, Jack Henry and Tim Robbins, and you here live on The Rich Eisen Show on youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, as well as this radio station. All right, we're back here on the show. All right. How about Irv with a 47 right there?
It's great.
477.
His favorite number is 47.
Mm-hmm. Let's. Should we take a phone call?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, Carla in Maryland. Let's take her call right here on our YouTube feed. What's going on, Carla?
Oh, she's up.
She's up. You there, Carla?
Carla.
Put on hold again.
All right, put on hold. Artha in Houston. You got it?
Hi.
How are you?
Good. So, Rich, I was thinking it might be secret jealousy from the male drivers that you've encountered.
Whoa. Mm-hmm.
You know, because you have it all together. I mean, you are living the life. And I know.
It is not. It is not. Look, the whole thing, I don't understand it. I get along with people. You sound like a very nice person. We can get along.
I would give you a 5 for sure.
Thank you.
I missed meeting you in Houston. I saw you walking down the street when y'all were here in the Super Bowl in 2017.
Okay.
But I was able to catch up with Mooch, and I got to meet him.
Oh, that's so cool.
But I regretted not getting to meet you, too.
Well,
so,
call back.
anyway.
Don't lose this number. And I thank you for the call, and thank you for the sentiments. That's a phone call we're taking right here on our...
Love it.
I guess the recess, right?
The recess.
All right, let's. We'll come right back with the Robbins as they're coming out right now. We'll see you in a couple. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show on this radio station, as well as youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. And we are thrilled to have here on the program a man from such great films as Shawshank Redemption and Mystic River, which earned him an Academy Award. He is one of the many celebrity actors and actresses who are in the new film written and directed by his son, Jack Henry Robbins. Tim Robbins and Jack Henry Robbins in the new film VHYes, which is in theaters near you right now, as well as video on demand here together on the program. Good to see you, gentlemen. How are you?
Thanks for having us.
You got it. Thanks for being here. Man? It's good to have you here. You have right in front of you the camera on which you shot this. It was all shot on a VHS camera?
VHS and Betacam.
My God. I think my bar mitzvah was shot on something like that. That looks, I haven't seen anything.
No, this is the real deal. This is the AG 455.
Right.
Panasonic. If anyone wants one, we have 7 of them now, so we're camera heavy.
I was about to say, you had to go search high and far for something like that, right?
Yeah.
And this was the Old Faithful. This one shot most of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So you legitimately would press like play and record on it just to shoot it?
We shot everything on actual tape. I mean, it was such a process finding the right tapes and everything, but pretty much we want it to be genuinely of the 80s.
No magnets allowed on the set.
I remember that because you could demagnetize a tape.
Which
I haven't
would
thought
ruin
about
the
that.
dailies. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so he had
my
a box of how many tapes?
It ended up being 53 tapes.
Which was the film.
Right.
And we didn't have time during the shooting to transfer them. So Jack had a freak out one night and spent 3 days transferring.
It was at the end of it. I'm like, you know, have a cold like you always do at the end of a shoot.
Of course.
And I just looked down at this box. I was like, oh my God, like if there's a flood or anything, my movie's gone. So I stayed up for 3 straight days and digitized everything.
Transferred onto digital and edited on
Sure,
digital.
of course.
But
And
the look of it is, you can't get it without shooting.
You
on it.
can't. It looks like, again, because I used to do this too when I was a kid. I would pop a tape in and record something and just crash record it on whatever was on the tape, and it would remove everything that was from it.
Like what kind of shows, Rich?
Well, MASH. I'm serious.
You're telling us that you grew up in Staten Island.
I grew up in Staten
So
Island.
you know those public access.
Public access with the famed, you remember, come up with the idea, Jack, for this film.
VHS is pretty much like it's about a 12-year-old kid who records over his parents' wedding tape.
Okay.
So you're watching the wedding tape get recorded over.
Yes.
And it's all his late night television and all of the kind of weirdness that you can find late night, along with his life and kind of his friends and stuff.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like a view into this kid's brain, but with humor. It's got Kerry Kenny and Thomas Lennon from 50-50 for him.
Because he's kind of like a QVC
Legend,
host in this film, to use
With a complicated relationship with his partner.
Excuse me. And then Brockman, there's one. That's Chris and Mike over there, by the way. There's one scene in this, and again, the films that leap to mind that would be similar, like Kentucky Fried Movie, right? Where it's just one kind of skit, if you will, after another, and it would be mashed together in that respect, right?
Yes, but there's also this quite moving part of it, too, which is that this kid, his parents are going through a bad time and possibly going to get divorced. So it's kind of, you see the world through this 12-year-old's eyes, but also you kind of start feeling his angst and his pain. It's
and it's a comedy.
Film. It is. Well, it is funny. Again, one of the late night cable scenes that it gets crashed into is I guess a female Bob Ross. Okay. Painting a landscape of a mountain. And then it gets a little bit strange because the alien spaceships are in the top left corner, and she starts to talk about the alien spaceships. And do you want to then finish the?
And then
what's in the bottom? What's in the bottom left part of the screen?
It's she's dunking on Dennis Rodman in a very graphic.
Yes,
way.
in more ways than one.
Teabagging-ish.
She's doing that.
Chicago Bulls era. Rob.
Of course, the worm.
The worm. Right.
And I think the line is, "There's moisture, and some of it is in sweat."
Kerry Kenny plays that
Fantastic.
part from.
Oh my gosh!
Awesome.
Yeah, it was super fun.
So where'd you choose Rodman? Just because that's just a
I
funny
just thought
thing?
it was
or?
like,
okay.
if anyone's gonna have a fantasy about a 90s or 80s athlete, it's Dennis Rodman. I mean, he was dating Madonna. He was dressing in dresses. Like, there's something about Dennis Rodman.
There's something about Dennis Rodman, even today, where, if he's in North Korea one second or he's on ESPN the next, there's a 30 for 30. It's kind of crazy, you know.
There's also the late night conscious pornographies that the 12-year-old takes, including Hot Winter, the first American film about global warming.
Yeah, which happened to be an adult movie.
Dr. Manley.
It's
sure
true.
is hot in here.
This is literally in the movie.
It's a hot winter.
It's a funny. Everybody should check it out. VHYes, and I have the VHS version of it sitting right here. And you were very kind to rewind it as well.
Oh yeah, you
have to be
pop
kind,
that right in to your DVD player.
Yeah, I just remember. It's kind of crazy. I got again Tim Robbins and Henry Robbins here. I just would remember when I would rent a movie, I couldn't choose one. I literally would walk around the Blockbuster for like a half an hour. And I'd be, I don't know why it would take me forever to do that sort of
Because
thing.
there were so many bad movies, and you were like, there's got to be a good one in here somewhere.
Right, pretty much.
And then you find it, and it's like, oh, no, we rented that.
That's right.
That's out on
it's
rental.
not there.
Yeah,
I know. That
yeah.
somebody put the box in back on the wall, and you open it up like, what? It was honestly a terrible thing to do in society would be to return the tape box, but no tape, and leave the box up on the wall. Just terrible.
Yeah.
That's not. That's
it's like
not
a
right.
betrayal of humanity.
Exactly. I got again Tim Robbins and Henry Robbins here on the Rich Eisen Show. This is interesting. I gleaned this backstage. Tell everybody, Jack, who your godfather is. Who's your godfather?
Ron Shelton, who is the writer of Bull Durham,
baby,
the movie that made me exist. I'm here because of that film.
So why not have him as the godfather of your child,
Absolutely.
Tim, right?
Yeah.
Cosmic All-Stars.
What is it like to have Ron Shelton as a godfather?
I mean, as I got older and realized all the movies he had written and directed, as I did what he does, it really became more of a resource. We get lunch a lot now, and I really like the guy. He's amazing. He's a great person.
At lunch or not late afternoon or early evening or late night with him? Or?
We're talking very outside.
Okay. Ron's trying to be a responsible adult with him. Not like you and I.
Thinking going a little sideways.
I'm looking forward to that other side of him.
Just get him a good bottle of scotch.
That's all you need to do, for sure. How were you introduced, Tim, to Bull Durham? How was that introduced to you?
Well, I went to audition for Ron. I did really well, and then the agent says, you did really well, but you got to go throw. And so I went out and met Kevin and pitched threw the ball around with him.
So
Ron wanted to make sure that people could throw.
Yeah.
And I played third base, never had pitched before, so I had to learn all those mechanics. And then on top of that, I wanted to do a kind of Fernando Valenzuela thing, rolling the eyes and looking back, and that
breathe through the right eyelids,
right?
Which Ron was like, yeah,
because you got to breathe through your eyelids.
Yeah, you got to, yeah.
Pretty much. So the catch that you had to conduct in order to get the gig was with Kevin Costner?
Yes.
Where? Do you remember?
Out at Warner Brothers Studios out in the Valley. And
on the lot?
Outside, outside
on the
a bungalow. Outside a bungalow there. Yeah.
So people are driving their golf carts around you while you're trying to have a catch with Kevin Costner?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, no, don't break any windows.
That's right. Because you are Nuke LaLoosh. You're supposed to throw it in any direction right there.
He was written as a lefty.
Right.
And Ron decided that, he wanted me, so it turned into a right hand.
That kind of ruined the movie, though. If only he was a lefty, that would have really taken it to the next level.
Be careful what you wish for, because you might not exist.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you think about it and you boil it all down.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm glad you got the part. I'm glad you memorized your lines that day.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Man.
Thanks.
Wow. That was that was a Nuke LaLoosh fastball
high
and tight
hard.
right there.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Rush back pitch.
Which film of yours do you get the most from your filmography?
It depends on where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Shawshank overall, but if I'm at a ballpark, it's Bull Durham. If I'm at various places, Mystic River. Sometimes the Player. Sometimes there's a lot of different ones. Jacob's Ladder, I get a lot.
Do you get Bob Roberts?
I do. Yeah.
I mean, certainly in this day and age.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of saw across the steering wheel where everything was kind of headed politically in this country.
I tried to warn you.
That Bob Roberts was coming with his guitar.
That's right.
I know. Were you basing that on anybody at the time?
I was basing it on the idea that entertainment was kind of being co-opted by politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first indication of that was when Reagan used "Born in the USA" as a campaign song.
Right.
Springsteen got pissed off about that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the tendency of politics becoming showbiz had started then.
Mm-hmm.
And people weren't having serious discussions anymore about issues. They were more just about surface and image and how did I come off and how does it look and all those salacious rumors and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you get Shawshank the most, right?
Yeah.
That's what you say.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen Shawshank Redemption, Jack, Henry?
3.
That's about it, huh?
5. I don't know.
After 5, I couldn't force him to do it anymore.
I have TNT, so it's on a lot.
So I was gonna say I've seen it 3 times this week.
Really?
I mean, it's always on, and it's maybe the most remote drop movie of all time.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't
and apparently
matter.
It's
Where it
lost
doesn't matter.
money. I just read that yesterday.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Impossible.
They just did an accounting, an audit.
The
and
Shawshank's
apparently
lost.
it's still losing money.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Incredible. Yeah.
Those checks that that I open up and I get CSI Miami. He gets
my goodness,
Shawshank Redemption. Do you have a question for this man? Like, that's your movie, man.
Yeah,
like
but
this is your
the
movie.
two, Bull Durham and Shawshank, are two of my
This is
favorite
it.
movies. Bull Durham is a must-watch before any baseball season. I guess
sweet.
for me, the lines of Bull Durham. Do you have a favorite line that you remember?
Rose goes in the front, big guy. And I still have those, garter belt.
Do you have the where? Where's the garter belt?
It's in storage somewhere. I'm going to bring it out for a big auction someday.
Would you do? I mean, we'll help you. We'll help you auction
I
that
have my
thing off.
jersey too. Still,
You get your jersey?
and one of my jerseys is in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown.
That is so damn cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Cooperstown. What a dream. That was awesome.
And it's because it was the 25th anniversary of it. Is that where you guys all got back together or something like that, or the 30th anniversary or
No,
something?
but that's a whole other story, and we don't need to get into that. But
Okay.
way before that, they had asked me if I would donate my shirt.
Right.
And so I gladly did, proudly did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which is your guys' team together? The New York Rangers? Would that be it that you guys share together? Father-son sports team?
New York Rangers, New York Mets.
Mets? Why the Mets?
Well, Rich, because when I was 11 years old, on my 11th birthday, the Mets won the World Series in 1969. And I was in the stadium with my grandmother.
So George Thomas Sevier was your guy growing up?
Yeah.
That'd be
And
it?
Jerry Kuzman and all those. Dude, Nolan Ryan was on that team, too.
Damn straight he
And
was.
when I was 17,
Yes.
I got to see them lose Game 6. So, so there's that. We caught that one catch over the wall, and then lost. So Carlos Beltran just didn't swing. That was amazing. I remember driving home being like, "This is so good. I love it."
Yeah, I couldn't. I'm
Mo Vaughn.
I got. You're right.
John
Okay.
LaRue. I've never
It was
experienced a
tragic.
championship.
It was
What am I
a
supposed to
tragic
do?
car ride home, I have to say. That was a difficult car ride home.
Yeah, I mean, you could have saved him the trouble of being a Met fan. I mean,
Well,
you
no,
could
we
have
still have
saved him
hope.
from that.
I mean,
okay.
you can't give up on a
Right.
To
team.
be fair to Beltran, they didn't. He didn't get the signal right.
Yeah, he didn't, there was no
Yeah,
trash
there's no
can
trash
banging.
cans.
Yeah, I didn't see that in Bull Durham. Maybe the sequel.
Oh.
That'll be the sequel. Pretty much. Well, this has been fun having you on here. Thanks so much for coming here.
Such a pleasure.
Like I said, I've been a big fan of yours for quite some time, and I'm a fan of your film. This was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. VHYes, again, is in theaters, select theaters now, and on video on demand. You can check that out at Tim Robbins here on Instagram and at Jack Henry Robbins on Instagram as well. And there's Twitter accounts that we don't have to go into right now, but good to see you. Thank you for coming here.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
You got it. We are back with your phone calls and a little bit more here on the Rich Eisen Show in a second. All right, welcome back to the show. Tim Robbins taking off. That was a lot of fun right there. He has, as we suggested,
amazing,
inaugurated the first guy from first actor or actress from Bull Durham to baptize our hat. Number 37, he put.
Number 37. Yeah, I got him to sign a baseball.
Oh, you did? Look at us, man.
Something for the home collection.
Fantastic.
Love it.
Because that's one thing that this studio needs is more knickknacks.
More knickknacks.
Hold it up, Chris.
More.
Don will punch up your camera right there.
More knickknacks.
There you go, more knickknacks.
Tim Robbins.
I think my favorite. Are we back on the radio yet, or no? We're going to be back on the radio. Oh, okay. My favorite. It's now blocked by the Bad Santa DVD. Right now.
Oh, the phone?
Yeah, why don't you pull the Bad Santa? I don't know if we'll see it or not based on the camera that we have here.
Why
but
is the phone blocked?
I don't know, dude. There it is.
You blocked it.
Brock, when you hold it up, pick it up and show it to the camera. That was when, hold on, right there. Perfect. Hold it right there. That is, there you go. Perfect. Michael Douglas signing phone.
My original brick.
Your original brick cell phone as Gordon Gekko. That could be my favorite of the whole lot, dude. I love it.
And it's funny that you bring that up because that phone was released today in 1983.
Are you kidding?
I had it in 90.
Cost, hold
on.
I'll tell you what it cost.
$500 bucks? $500?
500.
1,000?
Keep going.
The first version of it was different.
The original version of these phones cost $4,000.
I believe it.
Wow.
I paid
in 1983.
Probably cost me $1,200 for that one then in 91.
I love the story Walton Goggins told when he was here a couple weeks ago when he was parking cars for Dominique Wilkins' club. And there was a guy who was just showing off on his car phone, driving back and forth in his lot. And he went up to him and said, hey, man, what are you doing here? I got to park cars. And the guy just kept driving back and forth trying to show off on his phone until somebody came out of the club and screamed, there's a fight inside. We got to call 911. And he runs up to the guy and says, call 911, call 911. We got a big problem here. And he goes, it's fake. The phone's fake. Like he was faking the whole time. Phone's fake.
I had a friend that had one in his car that was fake, and we made a lot of fun of it.
You think that autographed phone is the most valuable piece of memorabilia we have out here? We've got a lot of stuff.
I don't know. I think the artwork.
Oh, the artwork is,
pretty good.
The artwork.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a one, right?
That's a one of one.
That's a one of one.
Are you kidding me?
That's a 101.
That's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
I would think. We'll show it in Eisen overtime when we got a shot of it. Okay, everybody. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. That was a lot of fun right there. How funny is that? Henry Robbins says,
I'm dying to see this movie now.
It actually does seem like
he says
I did that.
He says that Bull Durham's the movie that created me.
That is funny.
By the way, 100% accurate.
I know.
100%.
I know. And that's why Ron Shelton's his godfather. Could you imagine having a godfather that's Ron Shelton? You want to get in directing? Call my godfather.
What's your favorite Ron Shelton movie?
Well, there's Bull Durham.
Hang on, I got to go.
White Man Can't Jump.
I don't think there's look, and I don't think there's any better film that he did than Bull Durham. Tin Cup I love, and White Men Can't Jump I love, and those are just.
I think he wrote Bad Boys too, also.
I just you know how I feel about Ron Shelton, man.
Great man.
Susie and I love him.
See, I like The Great White Hype, but he co-wrote.
I'm telling you, I
like The Great White. Yeah,
we Susie and I were teamed up with Ron to do a TV show and pitch it in town about Susie's life as a sideline reporter. And so we got to know Ron Shelton and meet him and drink with him and dine with him and just be in his general midst. And it's some of the most treasured times that we've had out here in Los Angeles.
That guy can tell.
Oh my gosh.
I just remember we had him on the old podcast back in the day.
Right.
So incredible.
Right. I'd love to get his 2 cents on the Astros banging the trash can.
Because Bull Durham is pardoned based on his minor league baseball days.
Yeah, I'll call him up. You want him coming on? We can have him come on.
That's pretty great.
Get ready for the baseball season with Ron.
Amazing idea.
Okay. Yeah, we had your godson on the show the other day. I don't know if your ears were burning. I'll call him later on today. Our poll question, final results, brought to you by our friends at Capital One. Capital One has reimagined banking by offering savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums and one of the nation's best savings rates. Capital One, what's in your wallet? What do you have over there, Chris?
Okay, on the anniversary of Lethal Weapon's release in
Yes.
1987, what's
Yes.
the best action movie duo? So we had Martin Riggs, Mike and Marcus from Bad Boys, Carter and Lee from Rush Hour, and Dom and Brian from Fast and Furious. The Fast and Furious guys, 11%. Carter and Lee, 19%. Bad Boys, Marcus and Mike, 20%. Martin Riggs ran away with this, 51%.
How about that, huh? How about them apples?
Lethal Weapons.
All right, Carla in Maryland, been hanging on. Let's get Carla back here. How are you, Carla?
I'm good, Rich. 4.89 is my score.
Hey!
Well, you sound very nice, Carla.
Well, I try to be. So, listen, this is in no way a question of how you tip,
Okay.
but could it be that the drivers that rated you badly, maybe they recognized who you are, they know you're on TV, you're on the radio,
okay,
and maybe they thought that you didn't tip them as somebody of your stature should
Okay.
tip.
Now, Carla, don't hang up on her yet.
I won't.
Okay, please don't
I
give.
won't.
You guys,
you were ready.
You
I
guys,
wasn't ready. I
you
was going
guys
with-
have been around me for a very long time.
True.
We have gone to dinner together.
Correct.
Yes.
And many times.
Yes.
You have watched me not alligator arm the check many times.
I've never paid the bill.
I've watched
when we've
someone
gone
alligator
out to
arm the
dinner.
check.
I mean, you don't watch me, but
But I've ridden in cars to airports with you and everything. You are one of the most generous tippers.
Thank
I've
you
ever
very
met.
much.
This.
Okay, thank you. So,
Yeah, okay.
Carla, I don't know, but and plus my rating doesn't go up at all. Like there is an anchor of many full Blutarski ratings that I have, and I don't know where it's from or what. I might have to start from scratch. Is what I'm saying.
But, Rich, the reason I'm saying this is because I have an old high school buddy of mine who works in Vegas.
Okay.
And he's constantly complaining about how football players in Vegas don't tip well. And I asked him, but what are they tipping? 20%, 25%, 30%? And
Okay.
he'll say, well, about 25%. And I'm like, dude, that's enough. And they'll say, well, but he's rich. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm literally, my
Rich.
name is Rich.
You are rich.
Okay.
Right.
Oh my gosh! All right, Carla, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
I mean,
my head's going to be totally turned around. I mean,
we've got
today has not helped.
By the
Today
way,
has not
also
helped.
now I like this idea for our callers to call in.
With their
they
Uber
give
rating?
their Uber rating.
Like fans
Yes.
give their height and weight.
Height and weight.
They'll call in with their Uber rating.
Everybody
Uber
call in
worm?
and give us your Uber rating.
Okay. All right.
Uber wormhole and Dolan wormhole.
Okay.
I like Uber.
All right, Rich, two quick NFL things real quick. Austin Eckler re-upped with the Chargers.
Which makes sense why Melvin Gordon's hitting the free agent market.
Yeah.
Right.
And reports that the Raiders are interested in Marcus Mariota.
Okay. Very good. We've talked a lot about my Uber rating today. Now,
Talked about it,
and
Jim.
how substandard it is. let me get a better number that I'm proud to be associated with. Okay. Run Rich Run.
Oh baby.
Yeah.
Is now, I guess, one would say, officially we're now in the books. We're a few days removed from the combine, but this donation of NFL.com Run Rich Run, the donation space is still going to be active all the way through to the draft.
Awesome.
Because the commissioner and his wife Jane decided to give $5 for every video that you run and post to any of social media sites with the hashtag of Run Rich Run. $5 goes on this total for the number of videos. So let's keep making those videos and get the number up. But for those on the radio right now, and for anybody out there who donated, I say thank you. And if anybody's still considering doing it, I say thank you. NFL.com/RunRichRun. Any penny that you have matters, because every single penny goes straight to the hospital. Every single dollar that you see on the screen of $974,904.
Wow.
All of it goes
Oh my God.
to the hospital, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, where families go and just love on their kids and focus on only that, because they never see a bill, thanks to St. Jude. Never see a bill for health care, never see a bill for anything, transportation. And I want to thank all our corporate partners. Courtyard by Marriott, NFL Ventures were the lead partners on all this. Sweat Taylor gave me the suit. Nike gave me the shoes. I want to thank Honda right here on the Rich Eisen Show. They were part of it this year. I want to thank Mark Laurie for beating Jerry, because that means Michael Rubin had to give $250,000 to this total, and Mark Laurie got so many of his very rich friends to donate. The number through the roof. I want to thank the Ravens. Steve Bisciotti and his wife Renee gave $100,000. I'll say that. The Colts, the Vikings, the Giants, the Rams all donated specifically. And what did you say there, Mike, Chrissy? Oh, yeah, the coaches, Belichick and Patricia, John Lynch, Mariucci, Kurt. So many of my colleagues and friends gave money. I just want to thank everybody. Carlene O'Reilly and Louise Carter of St. Jude and NFL Network specifically. NFL.com/RunRichRun to donate still. And thanks for taking in this edition of The Rich Eisen Show. We will see you next week.